Raider Nation, what's going on? We're live here on the Raiders Report, and don't worry, I'm not going to post anything on my Instagram story about how much I hate my bosses, but Chandler Jones, he did. And we're going to talk about it today. He has recently taken down the Instagram stories, but why can't we ever have anything nice, man? It's supposed to be week one, only talking about going up against the Broncos, and yet this team just never disappoints. I got to sit up here and talk about Instagram stories because Chandler Jones had a little bit of a breakdown today. We'll talk about, is it McDaniels and Ziegler's fault? Is it Chandler Jones' fault? What the heck is going on with this organization? And I see a super chat one from Raider Muerte. It said, let's get the good vibes going, which it's going to be a show. We're going to need a lot of good vibes going. Lucky King also said, what would it take to trade for Mike Evans? Well, luckily for you, we're going to be talking about a potential Mike Evans trade today. And I know it sounds outlandish, but I'm going to say two things on this show. And afterwards, you're going to be like, all right, well, yeah, that kind of makes a lot more sense. Maybe a Mike Evans trade could actually happen. Then we're going to look at the Week 1 preview because this is where the concentration should be. As always, you want to get your questions, comments on the show, use hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. But you know what? Drum roll, please, because I need you to welcome in Jeremy Chugs.
Raider Nation, what's going on?
Everybody show some love to Chugs down in the chat. What up to Lesbo, Queen, Sarah, Otto, Jaime, Vincenzo, Muerte, Diehard, Christian Lloyd, Will Thompson. Woo! What up, David Flores? Got over 750 people on the show. If you haven't already, click that like button.
Let's go.
Here's the question. Will Chandler Jones demand a trade, yes or no? What do you think?
Unlike Chandler Jones.
What do you think?
Unlike Chandler Jones, I'm pumped up and I'm ready to go. Is there a maybe?
Is there a maybe button?
Maybe? I don't know.
He was a very unhappy camper this morning. The latest updates are that the Raiders have tried to reach out to both Chandler Jones and his agent, and all of the calls, text messages have been denied. So Chandler clearly not very happy.
He got ghosted.
I know there's a lot of people out there that think that Chandler was hacked. Wasn't hacked, so let's just stop that right there. He put that stuff on his Instagram story. I will say, and I'll get into it a little bit more here in a little bit, but, like, there is a part of me that worries, like, did he actually have, like, I don't know, a panic attack or, like, a mental breakdown? Like, I don't know, because for an adult to act the way that he did, it's concerning. But also, what Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler did, I don't think was really handled in the correct way either. So both sides just need to be adults, get into the same room, kind of like the whole Josh Jacobs thing, and just talk it out.
Well, and
that's what needs to happen. And
it's confusing because what were you telling me right before the live show? What Chandler Jones yesterday literally bought them a gift.
Yeah, Chandler it was 20 hours ago now. It's like 22 hours ago. Chandler Jones bought Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler Tom Ford sunglasses, posted it on his Instagram story, and then insert SpongeBob meme 20 hours later. And now we have this breakdown. I don't know what to think.
Maybe they're more Gucci guys.
Tom Ford or Gucci? You let me know. What would you pick?
Oh, definitely the Gucci.
Definitely the Gucci?
Gucci.
You look like a Gucci type of guy. I could see it.
Whenever something's like good or all right,
it's Gucci?
It's Gucci.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I've been using a lot of Manscaped recently, and my Gucci is very Gucci. What up, Dan? Trade him to the Bucks for Mike Evans. I don't think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers want a player like Chandler Jones.
Hey, you're in rebuild mode. Do you want an old defensive end?
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the problem, right? I have seen, should the Raiders trade Chandler Jones to the Chiefs for Chris Jones? If that offer was put out there to Kansas City, they would laugh in your face hysterically. To even think that Chris Jones and Chandler Jones are at the same point right now in their careers, it's just...
That's like...
No way.
That's like trading Devontae Adams for Sky Moore.
I don't know about that. I was trying to think of two players that are still like two older players, but one's just clearly not in his prime anymore. Who's an old receiver that's just totally washed up now? It's like trading
Juju.
All right, Devontae Adams for Juju Smith-Schuster. Would you do it? The answer is clearly no. All right, let's stop talking about Chandler Jones, Mike Evans. We'll get into that stuff here just for a little bit. How about this? Give me your score predictions right now. This game opened up with the Raiders as 4.5-point underdogs. It has since now been at 4-point underdogs, and then when I just checked, like right before we went live, 3.5-point underdogs. So it's a whole 1-point difference. Also, I am starting to see some super chats rolling here.
What do you know?
We'll be able to put you up on screen here if you want to get your questions, comments, interacting and flowing with us. To me, my score here for the Raiders, I do think that this team's going to win again. The Broncos have lots, and I mean lots of injuries to be concerned about. I was live over the weekend with Wasted and Graph. We talked about some over and unders. I am going to take the over. I believe that 46 was my point total that I ended up coming to, and I also have the Raiders with the win. David says 27-24, Raiders win. Silver Ice not happy with Josh McDaniels. What up, Zalesbo? 31-17 Raiders. Raphael, 35-17 Raiders. RC, 31-24 Raiders.
Give me Raiders 27-20.
27-20? I like that. I'm on board for that score. It's going to be a closer game. It's going to come down to the Warriors.
It gives you the Raiders win, and it gives you the sneaky cover on the over.
Yeah. You got to bet. I'm a big bet the over guy. If you're betting the under, which usually maybe week one's the week to do it, but week one's always the most difficult week to bet.
Also, going up against the Broncos.
That's a win.
F-Sim, 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 F-Sim. F-Sim, F-Sim. F-Sim, 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 F-Sim. F-Sam, F-Sam.
Let's go to Tyler. This man loves himself some schnapps. He's airing out dirty laundry like a 10-year-old girl. He's talking about Chandler Jones, and yes, he did air out dirty laundry, but I also think that the way that the Raiders handled it struck a nerve with him. So, again, we'll get into why I think a situation that really could have been resolved very easily, and it should have never escalated to this point. A lot of times when emotions get involved, that's when this type of shit happens.
Future fellow said drugs, ?
Yeah, I think it was anger. I think it was anger, and then the fact that the Raiders reached out to an ex.
It's
weird.
That part makes no sense.
Yeah, I've tried to do a lot of digging on this whole situation, and the only thing that I can come up with is when Chandler Jones previously played with New England, maybe they had a connection with his old girlfriend, so they tried to contact her. The whole situation, until I get a list of every single fact, the only fact is this. Chandler Jones couldn't get into the facility today, went on Instagram, basically said, F you, Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, I don't want to play for you, and I don't want to play for the Raiders. There's your Cliff Notes version. It's a weird situation. Let's go to Saki's. You really think this coaching staff will act as grown-ups? I'm so disgusted with McDork. I don't know what to think about McDaniels and Ziegler, right? It's a really tough conversation because from what I was told by very reliable sources with the whole Derek Carr situation was that was on DC. That's what I was told by Raiders players, that the way that whole thing was handled was because of Derek Carr, not because of Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. Then this offseason comes rolling around. Josh Jacobs thing ends up going down. The Darren Waller thing ends up going down. And now you got the Chandler Jones situation. I'm a big person where it's like, hey, if a lot of shit happens over and over and over and over again, maybe we do got to start looking at McDaniels and Dave Ziegler and how they operate this. But holy shit. Oh! Refine! Zeus!
6752 videos.
Bang! Let's get this party started. Be sure to like the vid. I finally have money to do this. F-Sam, 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 F-Sam,
F-Sam, F-Sam.
And can I get a Raiders?
Let's go!
Spam Refined Seuss to get a shout out here on the Raiders Report. I'll tell you what, we got a lot of content coming up this week, Jeremy. And I mean a lot of content. Hey, go get some shots. I'm not drinking today because I know Thursday I'm going to put my body through hell and back. And then I know Sunday when the Raiders take on the Denver Broncos, oh my Lord, those days are marathons, man. So I appreciate everyone. If y'all want to party here on a Tuesday, hey, don't just make me the party pooper. If you want to have some drinks, you want to pour one up here and there, let's get it going. I'm always down to have a good time, but I also got to know, Thursdays and Sundays are the only 2 days that y'all are going to get me to drink here on the show unless somebody does some absolutely outlandish type of shit. That's going to be the only way that it ends up going down. But we are going to be live, obviously, now going forward. Now that it's the regular season, I'm going to be live on Thursday. We're going to be doing a watch party for Chiefs, Lions, so be staying in tune for that. We're going to be live on Sunday for Raiders and Broncos. Then I'm going to be live Monday. Then I'm going to be live Tuesday, off day Wednesday, live again Thursday. And that's just going to continue to rotate during the entire season. So if you want to shout out Spam Refined Zeus, I got Raider_Sancho83. What up, Anthony? What up, Will? I got George in the chat. What up, Trey the Truth? Number two. Queen Serrato, John Tinsley, Raider 508. Let's keep the super chats.
I wanted to get crazy.
Okay, I'm listening.
Fireball boot.
What?
Fireball boot.
What does that mean? Oh. I'm like, what?
Here we go.
I was like, dude, it's Tuesday. We're doing fireball boots. You scared the hell out of me.
Fireball boot.
I thought you were about to make a deal that your body wasn't going to be able to cash, man. I mean, that would have been an absolute freaking nightmare.
All right, let's
go to the
back
next.
up to where we last left off.
Let's go back to Nico. 0 chance we lose this game. Russ is burnt-ass barbecued chicken. A lot of references in there. I think maybe we should have saved that one for Keenan Allen.
We do have some new audience in the chat.
Yep.
Sam is our resident Broncos fan.
Correct. Again, we've been doing this show now. I've almost been here for 6 years, but Sam, before Jeremy and before a lot of people were here, Sam used to help me out a lot with the Raiders Report. He was the producer, and when we used to go out to Las Vegas, Sam was a part of that, but he was a Broncos fan. So a lot of the old G's or the OGs got to know Sam, and every time he was on the show, we would spam F Sam. Let's go to Dorian. I told you I was going to gift you Love the Tattoo. Dorian, we appreciate that. Yeah, the tattoo, it's still healing. I got some plastic wrap on it still, but we're going with it.
This next one.
Oh, Perk Angle. Perk Angle pulled up to Graphics live show, and I forget what he asked, but it was some Perk Angle type of shit.
Dude.
How many relationships is McDaniels going to ruin? I don't know, right? That's kind of what I said earlier. Is it what... sooner or later, we got to start wondering, is it McDaniels and Ziegler? You have to wonder that because for Derek Carr, Darren Waller, the Jacobs situation, the Jacobs one seems like it was resolved. But now with this whole Chandler Jones situation, I do think the other part that some of these NFL players have, like Jones, is on his Instagram, I had 112 sacks, I'm an NFL player, this and that, comes with a big ego. And he deserves a lot of the love and the credit for past years. But he also got to understand that he didn't play very well last season for the Raiders considering how much money they got. And McDaniels and Ziegler aren't the type of people to be like, oh, you did this back in those years? That's great. What are you going to do for me this year? And a lot of NFL players don't like that, and then they end up throwing a temper tantrum. Because let's face it, what Chandler Jones did today, whether we still need to get more of the facts on this, but it was a temper tantrum. It was a weird thing. Let's go to Uncle Elroy. Broncos have injuries too. Raiders 24-17. The Broncos got a lot of injuries.
Their wide receiver room is very thin.
Yeah, I mean, it is like Paper Mario.
I'm not talking Sperry thin.
I don't know if anything is Sperry thin. He is Paper Mario.
I heard he can dodge raindrops.
When Sperry turns to the side, you don't see him.
He's John Cena.
He's just gone. What up, Gavin? Reminds me of FAB situation. What's crazy about this entire situation is 4 years ago to the day is when Antonio Brown, and that whole debacle started going down. Also, we do have an injury update, and it doesn't really impact the Raiders, but Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee today at practice, and he is officially listed as questionable.
Give me the Lions.
That's going to be an interest. I'm not taking the Lions.
Lions on Thursday. Who you got? Type DET for Detroit. Type KC for the Chiefs.
I'm not taking the Lions.
Who you got? I got the Lions. Give me Micro Mike and the Lions. Let's go.
This reminds me of every time somebody thinks that the Chiefs aren't going to win, and then they go out there and they remind everybody that we're the Kansas City Chiefs.
Give
and
me the
it's
Lions.
So annoying. I hope you're right. Let's go to Junior. What up, brother? Trey Chandler for Chris Jones. It's not happening. It's not happening.
This profile picture is sneaky funny. He's doing a Google search.
Oh. Yeah, that is actually low-key hilarious.
Jack has seen Oppenheimer 7 times.
That's true. I don't know what else I can go with that. I'm wondering if Jack's taken notes for his movie. I did see the rundown of how he grades movies. It's interesting. It's a lot more than I expected.
I thought you were about to say it's not even close.
Oh, he loved the movie, which worries me. All right, John, what up, man? We know you're not drinking because no jersey. Well, here's the thing. I will start wearing more jerseys during the regular season, but today was going to be the show that I kind of laid the blueprint, just saying, if I'm wearing your jersey on a Monday, on a Tuesday, I'm not taking a drink for it. I'm just still going to support the fact that people want to send in jerseys and do all that. But as of today, Tuesdays, I'm not going to be drinking on those type of shows. Oh, shit! Refine! Zeus!
6752 videos.
Bang!
And again!
Another one!
And again!
And another one. You want to shout out here on the Raiders Sports Show? Some love to Refine Zeus.
Woo!
What up, David? Die Hard Raider fan 365. G Money. What up? What up?
Fireball boot.
Jaime Alvarado Sr. Tadashi Martin, a shady Raider. John Blaze Drula, all showing love.
Every 100, I'm doing a fireball boot.
That's on you. I'm not doing that. Also, a cat a monkey. Thanks for the roses.
Thanks for the roses.
Thank you. All right, we'll go back to some of these supers, and then we will get into the latest here around Chandler Jones, the drama that is going down, because I've been getting asked, should we do, replacements? Where could he potentially go? Trey Jones and McDaniels. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen, right? Like, I am not a Josh McDaniels believer. However, if the Raiders can win football games this season, then that's going to make me a believer. I want to be wrong saying that the Raiders did a dumb thing in hiring McDaniels. Like, that's what I want. But that's not my job here. My job here is...
Oh! Oh my goodness!
Refine Zeus!
6752 videos.
Refine Zeus! Well, that's some pretty outlandish shit right there by Refine Zeus.
Oh my goodness! A $300 super chat.
Are you shitting me? The Zeus is loose.
The live show.
The Zeus is loose.
Woo!
Is that Refine? Did somebody hack you?
And again.
I don't know.
And again.
Spam Refine Zeus.
It's like that. Funny
Oh.
TikTok where it's like the Batman and he's beating him up. It's like, you want some of this?
Holy shit, man. We are off to an insane, and I mean...
Dude, I'm getting pretty lit before the show.
I was just going to say...
3 boots.
Well, it's going to be... Now you're at 3. I see what you're saying.
I owe 3.
Yeah.
I said every 100,
Holy shit.
I'll do a fireball boot. Oh my goodness.
I don't believe what I just saw. That was... Sometimes y'all do some wild, outlandish shit.
Anything is possible!
That was definitely one of those pretty wild and insane shit. Shout out to Refined Zeus, man. He came to pull up to the scene today.
Ceiling missing.
We will have something special for Refined Zeus on Thursday when the Chiefs and the Lions play. I'm going to be live with Nick Roloff, not Jeremy Chuggs. I forget. He's got something going on.
I have a wedding on Thursday. Thank God. I was going to have to tell Danny no if it was on Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, she would not have been.
Probably would not have been very, very happy with that one. But hey, it is what it is. Refined Zeus, I'm not worthy, my guy. Raider Nation, I'm telling you what, you see Refined in the chat, you got to show him some love. You got to show him some love.
These fireball boots, it's like 2 shots each.
Yeah, they're going to get you. They're definitely going to catch up to you. There's no doubt about it. Let's go to Mario Moreno. I got Chiefs money line and Raiders money line. Last 2 legs for 1,200.
All right.
I hope that it ends up working out for you.
Last question, and then we're going to get started.
All right.
Would you trade Hunter Renfrow for Mike Evans?
Type T for trade, type P for pass. Would you do it? Because I'm just going to tell you right now, a little bit of a spoiler alert. One of the deals that I have coming up here on the show does involve Renfrow, because I think, and I know I've been saying all offseason, the Raiders are going to trade Renfrow. The Raiders are going to trade Renfrow. I don't know what to think of this entire situation with Mike Evans, but now again, it's just a rumor. Evans said something that caught a lot of Raider fans' attention, so it is my job to be able to talk about it from top to bottom and give you everything that you need to know. DeJuan says, duh, WTF. Patrick B says pass. G-Money says trade.
Refined Zeus is trying to get into that silver and black hills, I'm telling you.
Hey, man, he's doing the right things. There's no doubt about it. Seeing a lot of P's for passing. See E Amazings type in T for trade. I'm surprised by the amount of people type in P for pass right now. Let's go to Patrick. Do you think Vegas is a drama-filled location? I mean, yes, but I don't know if you're saying, like, because they're in Vegas, there's more drama compared to Oakland. There was also a lot of drama in Oakland as well. There's always been drama around the Raiders. Like, I don't really think just because they're in Las Vegas, that means that
I think so.
There's going to be a whole lot more of drama.
I think I've seen Rebel in the chat.
Rebel's here. Yeah, Rebel's in the house. We got Perk Angle praying the season isn't a complete disaster.
Go home, Rebel. Go home.
And this is another bit. I was trying to talk to Jeremy today about all the inside joke bits we have on this show. There's too many to keep track of. We'll see you
week 9, Marshy.
We'll see you week 9. Also, praying the IRS doesn't find me. I'm wanted for tax evasion. That's what you said. Yes, that's what you said on Graph Show. So I was like, he said something, and I couldn't remember what it was, but that's what it was. I hope that they don't find you either, man. If you guys want Marshall to go home, spam GHM. Go home, Marshall.
Go home, Marshall.
Go home, Marshall. Coming up here on the Raiders Report, let's get in now to the latest drama around Chandler Jones. On top of that, if the Raiders were to trade him, what are the teams that are the most likely to take a deal for him? Also, on top of that, if the Raiders do end up moving on from Chandler Jones, we got to look at some potential replacements. Next segment then is going to be around Mike Evans, because he said something that is going to get a lot of Raider fans, I think, pretty excited. On top of that, this organization cares about relationships a lot, and Mike Evans has a lot of the right relationships to get a deal like this done. Then we're going to go into a Week 1 preview. I'm going to give you my keys to victory on both sides of the football. As always, you want to get your questions, comments on the show. It is #Raiders. Or you can super chat, get those questions, comments in. Good luck, anybody taking down Refined Zeus for today's MVP, because that man is on a whole nother level today. Coming up right now, the latest drama around Chandler Jones. Coming up today on the Raiders Report, the latest around Chandler Jones. He posted some stuff on his Instagram story. It has recently been deleted, but if you didn't see it, you're going to see it here today. On top of that, if the Raiders decide to move on from Chandler Jones and they decide to trade the veteran, what are some of the top destinations out there? And then, if that deal does end up going down, who can the Raiders try to go out and find, potentially sign, to try to replace Mr. Jones? Remember, anytime you want Raiders content, hit that subscribe button for videos all year long. 3 years ago, we were going live only once, twice a week. Last year, we were going live twice a week. This offseason, 3 times. So what do I always tell you? The more subs equals more content here, and we are doing lots and lots of content, especially this week. Not only are you going to get Raiders videos every single day, we're live today, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're going to be live every single Tuesday, every single Monday, every single Thursday, and every single Raiders game day. This week, we're going to be doing a watch party for Chiefs, Lions. Let's get the kickoff parties going. Let's get the watch parties pouring up. Going to have something real special for Refined Zeus. And then we're going to be live on Sunday. These are the times that our show is going to be going live. I am going live an hour before these games. So hopefully you're tuned in and ready to be watching and celebrating with Jeremy Chuggs and I. All right, so here we go real quick. We're going to roll through some of these Instagram stories that Chandler Jones posted. If you didn't see it this morning on the video that I dropped, you get a little bit of an opportunity right now. Long story short, Cliff Notes version. Chandler Jones showed up to the Raiders facility today to get a workout in. Could not get into the workout facility. Gave Josh McDaniels, Dave Ziegler a call. Neither of those guys answered their phone. Jones was obviously upset, ended up leaving, went to go work out at a public gym. So then what ended up happening is McDaniels and Ziegler tried to get in contact with Chandler Jones, tried to get in contact with his agent. Neither of those things happened. So McDaniels and Ziegler then reached out to Chandler Jones' ex-girlfriend, who he hasn't been in contact with for probably about 5 years at this point. Jones was obviously upset. As it stands right now, because the last thing that we really saw Jones put on IG, and the reason why this is scary is I don't know if he had a panic attack. I don't know the ins and outs. All I know are what he posted. And he said, I don't want to play for the Raiders if that's my head coach or GM. Which is crazy because earlier today on Chandler Jones' Instagram story, he posted that he bought McDaniels and Ziegler Tom Ford sunglasses. Jeremy made the joke, maybe they're Gucci guys. I don't know what the situation is. But when you're sitting down saying that your role models are Antonio Brown and Alden Smith and that you want to have a powwow with them, Chandler did not handle this in the right way. The Las Vegas Raiders did not handle this in the right way. The concentration right now should be week 1 against the Broncos. And yet, I'm sitting up here talking about this bullshit. McDaniels and Ziegler, Chandler Jones and his agent, get into a room. That's what adults do. Not do this social media bullshit because it's getting really, really annoying right now. But right now as it stands, the Raiders have tried to reach out to Chandler. The Raiders have tried to reach out to his agent. And all the calls, all the text messages have yet to be received. So be real with me right now. What are the chances Chandler Jones gets traded? 0 being no shot in hell. 100, we might as well just go live right now if you think it's 100 that he's getting traded. Let me know down in the comments section, what are the chances Chandler Jones ends up getting traded after all this drama? My answer is that it's less than a 5% chance. I'm not going to sit up here and say that because that happened, he's long gone. I'll say that sometimes when you have emotions involved, and maybe it's because McDaniels and Ziegler reached out to his baby mom. I don't have the answers there. But I also know I get into fights with my dad once in a while, right? I've gotten into fights with my best friends. And Chandler Jones has had a really good relationship with McDaniels and Ziegler since he was a child. That's why he bought them Tom Ford sunglasses literally less than a day ago. But I doubt that any other team, because it always takes 2 to tango, right? I doubt that there's another team out there wanting to pay Chandler Jones $16 million coming off a year where he only had 4.5 sacks. So Chandler might demand a trade. Doesn't mean it's going to happen because of the money and because of the way that they had to restructure this thing a little bit. But my job here is this: give you the news, but then also give you more analysis in case it does end up going down. So coming up here on the Raiders Report, we're going to look at the top 5 destinations for Chandler Jones. And I mean the top 5 teams that I believe are the most interested in making this deal happen. Let's go to the first team here, and this is not ranked in any particular order. The New York Giants have to be in consideration here. The reason is, now, I will admit, they don't have as much money, but in terms of fit for what New York's trying to do does make some sense, and I had a Giants source reach out to me and said, I could see the Giants trying to potentially make a deal for Chandler Jones. Let's go to the next team here. It's the New England Patriots, the team that he played. I know people, when they think of Jones, think of the Arizona Cardinals, but the reason why he has a relationship with Ziegler and with McDaniels is because the time that he spent with New England. That offense, to me, is not going to be a very good one, but I could see that defense still being able to go out and step it up. Let's now go to the next team here. It's the Buffalo Bills, and if they don't have Von Miller, which they're not going to have Von Miller the first 4 weeks of the season, but this is a team that just can't seem to get over the hump. One of you out of another premier edge rusher, and on top of that, Jones is from Rochester. Maybe he's got some friends and family up in that area. Let's go to the next team here. It's the New York Jets, and the only reason why I'm putting the Jets on here is because if there's been one team, now the Eagles have also been like very, let's go try to get a Super Bowl, but the New York Jets have been right up there with, hey, I know we might be overpaying for a dude, but right now was our window to win a Super Bowl, and with Aaron Rodgers taking a little bit of cap hits, cap cuts, they have some extra money to go out and spend. Could that be Chandler Jones? And then the final team is the Baltimore Ravens. And I tried to find a team that thinks about defense first, that could play a 3-4 style where Jones could be a stand-up outside linebacker, and that he could also at times put his hand in the dirt. To me, these are the top 5 teams most likely to make a deal for Chandler Jones if he does end up demanding a trade. So what do you think? Out of those 5 teams, if you're like, Mitch, you're forgetting somebody. Here's your opportunity. This is what the Raiders Report's all about. It's about having that real-life conversation and talking about what makes the most sense from top all the way down to bottom. So which team is the most likely to trade for Chandler Jones? So if I just told you my top 5 teams, let's go rank them really quick. At number 5, it's the Baltimore Ravens. Coming in here next then at number 4 is the New York Giants because of money. Then there is a clear tier break. At number 3, I'm going to go with the other team in East Rutherford, the New York Jets, because they have a lot of money to spend and they are in win now mode. At number 2, it's the Buffalo Bills, which means coming in at number 1, a team that he has a relationship with, a team that the Raiders have a great relationship with, is the New England Patriots. To me, these are the top 5 teams most likely to make a deal for Chandler Jones if, in fact, he does demand a trade. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, I got some potential Chandler Jones replacements, because if you move on from him, you got to be able to fill in his shoes. If you got a player that made the 53-man roster, you need another body. I'm not sitting up here saying that it's going to be easy to replace Chandler, which some of y'all are probably like, I think it might be, right? I got some names, some free agents, and some other players on this roster that will need to step up. But if there's one thing that I do know, it's that I got the best deal on the internet. Shout out to our sports book partner, BetUS. And if you plan on betting on any NFL games during week 1, I got an offer for you so good that if you refuse, you're going to be kicking yourself in the you-know-what. So in order to get the best deal on the internet, you got to go to chatsports.com/Raiders. You got to use promo code Raiders125. That gets you 125% deposit bonus. When you put down $100, they're going to give you $125 for free to bet with. Be a big baller. You can actually put up to $500 down and get $625 for free to bet with. It is the best damn deal on the internet. And sometimes I get asked like, all right, Mitchell, what are you betting on? Right here. I'm betting on the Raiders and Broncos game. The over-under in this one is set at 44. Give me the over in this. And then for the Raiders being 3.5-point underdogs, I'm taking the Raiders to win outright. They have won 6 straight games against Denver. 3 out of the last 4 games in Denver have hit the over for 44. So with Sean Payton, an offensive-minded coach, with the Raiders' offense, I think it's going to be clicking. Give me the over. Hell, Josh Jacobs might put up 44 points himself because he's the Broncos' daddy. Now, here's right now as it stands, the Raiders' defensive end depth chart. And the reason why I'm showing you all this is because you do need a replacement. You have to go out and try to find somebody else that can fill the shoes to take up the snaps that Jones was going to take up. Also because you don't want to put Tyree Wilson in a situation where he's forced to come back sooner than he's 100% ready. I get it. He played in the preseason, but there's no way they want Wilson out there going balls to the wall from the very, very start. They're going to put him on a pitch count. It's the smart thing to do. So as it stands right now, here's the Raiders practice squad on the defensive side of the football. I'm not sitting up here saying that Isaac Rochelle, David Agoa, or Janoris Robinson need to step up for Chandler Jones and fill in his shoes. No, I'm simply saying that if their number is called, they might actually have to make a move and have something happen. And maybe the Raiders decide to go out and sign Jordan Willis, who they decided to cut from their 53. I also have another Raiders update here, not really around Chandler Jones, but the Raiders just signed Keelan Cole to the practice squad, and then they released Antoine Wesley. So there's some other Raiders news that happened. Hit that subscribe button. Other stuff that they could potentially do. Adam Plant Jr. I talked to Plant over the weekend, and I said, hey, man, get any updates from any NFL teams? He said he's still waiting right now. But if Chandler ends up leaving, could they add Adam Plant Jr. to the practice squad and end up promoting an Isaac Rochelle in a pinch here to be ready to go up against the Denver Broncos? So what do you think here? If Chandler Jones is traded, who should the Raiders sign to replace him? Because that's where my mind went. If you're going to move on from Jones, it's not so much of a let's promote somebody off the practice squad. Let's go sign a player that wasn't good enough to make our 53 or practice squad. No, it's you got to look at free agency. You're saving a bunch of money by trading away Jones. So how am I going to use that money and invest it on my defense to a player that, yeah, he didn't play all that great last season, but he is a part of the plan. He is part of their plan in order to succeed this upcoming year. So my top free agent defensive ends that I could see the Raiders at least picking up the phone and giving them a call. The first one that I'm going to mention here is Kyle Van Noy, and this is the Adoy type of name, right? I mean, we say Kyle Van Noy all the time. He's played in past regimes with Brian Flores. He has played in past regimes with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. He's an edge. He can drop back into coverage. He can do a lot of different things. Not quite the exact comp of a player like Jones. A lot more versatile. If you're looking for more just I need somebody to go out and get the quarterback, the number one name that I would say you got to go out and get, probably Melvin Ingram. Ingram has spent some time on the Chargers. He's played with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's bounced around of late, but he has still been able to put up at least some sort of solid numbers. Another veteran edge rusher that you could potentially look at is Carlos Dunlap. Recently spent some time with Kansas City. Is mainly known for what he did with Cincinnati. Spent some time with the Seattle Seahawks on top of that. But overall, though, another player I just need a body to fill. And then Robert Quinn. Robert Quinn does have some relationships with Champ Kelly when Champ Kelly was a member of the Chicago Bears. Quinn, name to keep in mind. And the last one here is Jason Pierre-Paul. He might not be able to put 10 fingers up in the air, but he's still able to give you solid snaps. And when you think about overall fit, Jason Pierre-Paul to me reminds me of a heavier-setted Chandler Jones, a guy that he can put his 7 fingers in the dirt, a player that can stand up and play outside linebacker. And for Chandler and his role that he's going to have this upcoming season with the New York Giants, I do think that that is something important to at least be able to consider. Chase Young, I mean, you got to trade for him. People are saying Chase Young in the live chat. Also, some other Raiders news that just ended up going down. Las Vegas has waived Jordan Perriman and Isaiah Zuber from IR with injury settlement. So that's more of a happened before. We already talked about it, but now it's more of a official thing. So remember, y'all, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you do. And if you're not watching this live, tune in because we're live right now. And Refined Zeus got this show up and popping. All right, what is your excitement level for the Raiders versus Broncos on Sunday? Scale it from 1 to 10. 1 to 10. What do you think?
Help if I turn my mic on.
Yep.
I'm an 11.
11? Yeah, I'm already excited.
They're rock hard right now.
I actually think
they can cut diamonds.
I think, honestly, that's why people are so frustrated with this Chandler Jones news. Because it is week 1, NFL, and we are already dealing with drama and BS. Like, that's why I'm frustrated. Like, I'm seeing nothing but 10s. I got Kevin, David, Tycoon Backwoods, Felix Sanchez, Zalesbo, Anthony, David, Joseph Hammer. You know why they call him that?
What? Why?
Joseph Hammer?
No.
He knows Jimmy Screws. Custom M Clicks. What up, Ed Robbins? Jaime, Hellcat.
So many 10s. I feel like I'm at a Raiders event.
Billy Bob voice. Tan. I appreciate that, by the way. Raider fans are the best looking fans. I didn't know if you were going to go with 10s or there's just a lot of dimes also at Raiders games.
Yeah, we were at the Raiders-Cowboys tailgates.
Yep.
I swear, Cowboys fan walked up, her mouth looked like a World War II booby trap.
Oh, my Lord.
I was like, she is not a Raiders fan.
Alex also got me in her booby trap later that night. But, it's a little different, though. It's a little different. What up, Gregory? What up, Only? What up, Joe?
Ooh, a booby trap.
Nico, Sherry, James, I see all of y'all down in the chat. Coming up next here on the Raiders Report, let's talk a little bit about...
Sorry for lowering the average, Mitch.
Martin. Oh, man. Martin, you're doing great, bro. Martin's always killing it in these streets. Everybody's always killing it in these streets. So the next thing that we're going to look at here is Mike Evans and could a potential trade happen. And I know what a lot of y'all are thinking. Mitch, a Mike Evans trade is never going to happen. And I get it. But I'm going to tell you two things. And once I tell you these two things, I guarantee you, you leave today's show and you go, well, I definitely think there's a lot more of a chance than what I did when I woke up this morning.
What's that meme where he's like sitting on the bench and he's like...
I know exactly. Like, that's it right there. Yeah, all right. Yeah. He makes some good points. That's what's going to happen.
Right.
That's what you're going to see here on today's show. So we still got two more segments, and then the way that I'm going to end today's live is going to be Raiders Broncos preview. As always, though, if you want to get questions, you want to get comments on the show,
we actually do have one super chat.
Send in some supers, and we'll throw you up here. Oh! Eduardo! Haro! Bang!
That's a boot! That's a boot!
Fill it up! Jeremy's doing a fireball boot for every single $100 super chat here on today's show.
I'm feeling great.
Eduardo! Spam it! Spam it in there! You want a shout out here on the Raiders Sports? Spam Eduardo Haro! Let's freaking go! What up, George? What up, Refined Zeus? Refined Zeus keeps typing, I told you.
This is what we call
What does that mean? I told you.
This is what we call our Sam boot.
What up, Queen Sarah Otto, Steven69, Rebel Montana.
Refined Zeus keeps on thinking that somebody's going to beat him for MVP. Somebody's going to come in and swoop in.
Oh, I don't think so.
I told you.
Hey, Refined, no matter what, we're going to do something special for you on Thursday because you really got this party started off, man.
Tommy, that's funny.
What up, Buckethead, Custom Clicks?
He's got the wasted talent lines going.
Oh, yeah?
He said, my sweat smells like hamburger helper.
I mean, it is very helpful. I do miss hamburger helper. That used to be a go-to staple in my house when I was a kid.
It's still around.
Yeah, I don't eat it now, though. Like, I don't know. It's one of the, like when I was a kid and I needed to get by, it's fine. Now I'm probably not going to eat it as much. Also, I forget what I was just about to say. Oh, I saw Brandon Jasper in the comments. Brandon, I got your letter today. Do you want me to read to everybody the letter that you wrote? You let me know, Brandon. It was
dope.
It was amazing. Like, there's always difficult times in everybody's job. Don't get me wrong. I love my job. I love what we do. I think we do an amazing job here. But just like everybody else, some days there's difficult days. Some days there's easy days. Today was a little, balls to the wall. There's a lot of shit going on with the Chandler Jones
Martin
stuff.
says, Brandon, seasonal.
Yeah, Brandon's always, Brandon, you never know what you're going to get with
Brandon's
Brandon.
actually not seasonal. He's year-round.
Yeah, that's true. He's a real one. Brandon's a real one.
Patrick.
But Brandon sent us a message, and I want to be able to read that, but only if Brandon says yes.
Did you already read this one from Patrick?
Hey, Mitch, screw this drama. Let's take down the Donkeys. Patrick, I couldn't agree with you more, and that's where the frustration's coming in. It shouldn't be Chandler Jones against the Raiders. It should be the Raiders up against the Broncos. But yet, that's not where the conversation is. But always to just calm me down. Mm-hmm. Raider Muerte.
This has been my favorite. I'm so glad we started this. It was whenever I was drunk on vacation and I was watching a Mitch live show and I started sending him in. It's been probably my favorite thing ever since.
Yep.
Every live show, we start out Raider Muerte vibes.
Getting the good vibes in
Just
there.
vibes.
And we appreciate it, man.
Good vibes. Good vibes. So coming up next, we already talked about Chandler Jones drama. Now, a Mike Evans trade?
Oh, boy.
The
Could
Twitter
the Raiders,
streets are hollering.
Could the Raiders actually trade for Mike Evans? Because, I mean, Mike Evans said something that sparked my interest. And then we also have some other connecting the dots moments where I'm telling you right now, like Adam Sweeney says, I doubt it. And I'm going to look at all you right now and also say, I doubt it. But I also said that the Raiders were never going to trade for Davante Adams. I think a lot of people out there said the Raiders are never going to trade for Davante Adams. What does this organization look for? Relationships. And Mike Evans, man.
Pretty good relationships.
What?
So he has pretty good relationships.
He's got a lot of really good relationships with people that can make a lot of shit happen.
We're not talking about
for the
5-year-old
Raiders.
relationships. We're talking about right now relationships.
Yes. And when he says 5-year-old relationships, he means relationships that are
5 years. Yeah, 5 years ago.
Okay,
Yep.
I just wanted to clarify that.
Yep. Exactly.
All right.
I misspoke on that one. 5 years ago.
Got an update here from Ian Rappaport, and according to him, Travis Kelce's status is in doubt for Thursday night's opener versus the Lions. So today at practice, Travis Kelce hyperextended his knee, and now according to Ian Rappaport, he's in doubt.
Jace is shaking in his dirty Vans right now.
Yeah, I can't tell if he's just shaking or
Jace, did we clean the Vans?
he's got other shoes on. Jace is a big legs cross guy, like when his kneecaps rub together. It's kind of impressive.
Jace is nervous right now.
I mean, Travis Kelce, and you're not going to have Chris Jones.
I know. Oh, no, we don't. No Vans today.
No Vans.
I was going to say you're shaking in your boots because of the Travis Kelce news, but I was saying you're shaking in your Vans.
Are you worried now?
Your dirty white Vans.
You don't think they're going to lose to the Lions? I mean,
give me Detroit.
Chugs is all in on Detroit.
Give me Detroit money line.
I'll tell you what, we're going to be rooting for the Lions when they play the Chiefs on Thursday Night Football when we go live here on the Raiders Report. That I know.
Oh, it's going to be Lions fever.
I mean, Travis Kelce's doubtful now.
Yeah, he's doubtful. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. I think it matters.
Our micro mic is going to turn into a gigantic mic.
Yep. If you don't know what that means, we have a Lions content creator called Micro Mike. Bite those kneecaps? Bite those kneecaps. Well, we're eating kneecaps, apparently.
Sounds like something that goes on AB's Snapchat.
Sounds like something a past Saints coach would try to do and give money out for. But hey.
38-30.
That sounds like a hell of a game, though, no matter what. He also didn't say the winner, so I'm just going to assume he meant the Lions.
Yeah, 38-30 Lions.
I like it. I like it. All right, y'all, coming up here on the show, Mike Evans trade. Is it going to happen? I know it's a little bit far-fetched, but hey, let's talk about it a little bit. You ready, Chugs? Chugs is nodding. Coming up right now, trade for Mike Evans to Las Vegas. I'm going to tell you why it's a lot more likely, or possible is probably the right word, a lot more possible than what you think. Could the Las Vegas Raiders trade for Mike Evans? And the reason why I'm talking about this is because Evans went on Twitter and said that he would want to play with Davante. Last time I checked, he plays for the Las Vegas Raiders. Could Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler make it happen? And I know there's a lot of people out there sitting here going, Mitch, this is never going to happen. It's also the NFL, and a lot of very unexpected things have happened before. But I can promise you this. By the time you get done watching this video, you're going to think that, oh shit, maybe a trade for Mike Evans might actually happen. The reason why we're talking about this is because Evans put some teams out there that he'd like to go out and potentially pay for. If you don't follow a lot of the NFL latest news and rumors, it's simply saying that a trade deadline for the Bucs and Evans to come up with a certain situation is on Saturday. Mike Garafolo on Twitter said, deadline is set. Buccaneers wide receiver Mike Evans' agent says in a statement he will cut off contract negotiations if the sides don't reach a deal by next Saturday, one day before Tampa's season kicks off. Year 10 could be Evans' last as a Buck. So then, again, Evans mentioned some names that he would like to play for. Raiders, Davante Adams. He also mentions Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, and the Vikings with Justin Jefferson. But at least the Raiders were mentioned first, right, by Davante. And let's be real, a Mike Evans trade to Las Vegas is unlikely. But McDaniels and Ziegler value relationships. Do you agree with that statement? I'm looking at all of you right now, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this on a later date. Do you believe that Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler value relationships? Yes or no? The answer is yes. And Mike Evans has a phenomenal relationship with a guy called Tom Brady. Brady was the quarterback in Tampa Bay. They won a Super Bowl together. They have stayed in contact, and they remain very, very good friends. Tom Brady is obviously now with the Raiders in some sort of ownership capacity. And if Brady were to say, hey, Josh, hey, Dave, we need to go out and get this guy, even if the percentage chance was 1 and now it goes to 5 or 10, that still means that there's more of a chance than what there was before. Because I'll be real, when I first saw these rumors, I'm like, it's never going to happen. But then I'm sitting up here, I'm like, maybe. I don't know. I've seen crazier shit go down here covering the Raiders report. From a career standpoint, Evans, 683 catches in 137 games, over 10,000 receiving yards, and 81 touchdowns. Evans has played in 9 seasons. He has never had a season under 1,000 receiving yards. It's never happened. He is a red zone monster, and I know that some of the numbers that he put up last season weren't all that great from a touchdown standpoint, but the Bucs' offensive line was atrocious. The Bucs' running game was the worst in the NFL, and if you can add somebody that has this much talent and has this much red zone ability, I think you're kind of stupid if you don't try to do it if you're the Raiders. So here's your opportunity to be the general manager. Should the Raiders go out and trade for Mike Evans? It's crazy, I know, Mitch. But think about how many times even in free agency we said, the Raiders don't need a receiver. They didn't agree. They went out and they got themselves a Jacoby Myers. Josh McDaniels believes in offense, and he's an offensive-minded guy. So should the Raiders trade for Mike Evans, type Y for yes, or I want you to type your N for no. My answer might surprise some people out there, but I believe if the price is right, and I don't think it's going to cost you a lot because Tampa Bay is in sell mode, right? They got players out on yard sales, and they're trying to get rid of some guys to be able to stock up and go forward for the following years. But what I'm trying to say is yes, but it's got to be for minimal draft capital, and you got to throw in a player. If Tampa Bay says, I want all these picks for Mike Evans, the answer is no, because that doesn't help out the Raiders in the long term. However, if you get Mike Evans at a cheap deal because Tampa just doesn't want to have to pay a receiver when they know they're going to try to lose games and try to go forward, and then you can also do a player swap, I do think it makes a lot of sense. So coming up here on the show, I got 3 trade ideas for Mike Evans. The first 2 are the only 2 that I would do. The last trade that you're going to see on the show is a deal that I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers would ask for, or ask for, then the Raiders meet in the middle if they're only looking for draft capital. I will tell you this, though, right now. If the Raiders end up making a move, we're making a video around it. If the Raiders traded for Mike Evans, I'm going live, and it's going to be absolutely insane. So to make sure that you don't miss that, subscribe, turn on your notifications, and I'd always love the people that got those noties on. They're a part of the Noti Gang. If you don't know what the Noti Gang is, it's as soon as I put out a video, people start commenting down below, hey, I'm here, Raiders, and we always appreciate it. Shout out to R-Dog, Mario, Jake D, and Raider Roach 16JP. These are all people who are a part of the Noti Gang, and I just want to say thank you very much. To make sure that you don't miss our other live content this week, I'm going to be live on Thursday. Chiefs, Lions, NFL kickoff. Let's go Lions, right? Then we're going to be live on Sunday, an hour before kickoff. We're going to be tailgating. We're going to be bringing that Oakland feel when the Raiders take on and hopefully take down the Denver Donkeys. Set a reminder for all these times, lots and lots of live content. So what you're watching right now here on the show is all around the idea that Mike Evans said that he'd like to play with Davante Adams and he'd like to play with the Raiders. So Could they end up making it happen? Well, here are 3 trade ideas that I do think make some sense. The first 2 I would do. The last one, not crazy about, but I could see Tampa Bay trying to ask for it. The first trade is this. You trade Hunter Renfrow and a pick. That would be the deal that I would offer. If you're like, all right, well, let's try to get rid of Mike Evans, Tampa Bay is, I got a deal for you here. Take it or leave it. Like, these are all deals that I don't think that Tampa Bay would accept, but I'm also not up here trying to make sure Tampa Bay accepts the trade. I'm trying to make a deal that makes the most sense for the Las Vegas Raiders. So here's the reason why you would trade Renfrow. Renfrow's salary cap is $13.1 million in 2023. The Raiders, if they were to trade for Mike Evans, they would own $15.5. So essentially, you're getting a much better wide receiver for only $1.4 million more. I also think then that this allows Jacoby Myers to play in the slot where Renfrow would end up playing, and then your 2 outside receivers are Mike Evans and Devontae Adams. You know what's a really easy way to get rid of your red zone struggles? Devontae Adams, Jacoby Myers, and Mike Evans. I don't know how you defend that. Like, one guy's going to have one-on-one, and that's going to be where you go with the football. Oh, yeah, you also got Josh Jacobs. Oh, yeah, you also have a Michael Mayer and an Austin Hooper at tight end. I get a lot of people doubt Jimmy Garoppolo, but you pull off a trade like this, this might be then the best offense in the NFL from a skill position standpoint. So here's my trade. The Raiders receive Mike Evans. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to get Hunter Renfrow and a 3rd-round pick in 2024. I know the nation loves Renfrow, and I respect the hell out of Renfrow too, but he's not Mike Evans, and he's not close to Mike Evans. And I think if I'm Tampa Bay, I'm asking for, at first, maybe a 2nd-round pick to see if they can get him. I don't know how many teams that aren't in win-now mode. Like, if you're a Super Bowl caliber team, you might give up a 2nd-round pick for Mike Evans. Tampa Bay might even ask for more because he's a Hall of Fame caliber player. He's definitely put up a lot of impressive numbers. My question to you is this. Would you do this trade? Type LV for the Raiders, or I want you to type TB for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This deal to me is a win for the Raiders. That makes them a better team this upcoming season. Yeah, losing that 3rd-round pick in 2024 hurts a little bit. I will mention the only way that you do this trade and the only way that you trade for Mike Evans is if you believe you are a Super Bowl caliber team. That's the only reason why you make this deal. That's the only reason why you would trade away your 3rd-round pick next season. Now, remember, y'all, if you want to bet on the Raiders this upcoming season, there's one place to do it and one place only. That's with our awesome sportsbook partner, BetUS. All you got to do for first-time depositors is go to chatsports.com/Raiders. Promo code Raiders125. That's going to get you 125% deposit bonus, which means if you put down $100, you're going to get $125 for free to bet with. You can put down $200. Guess how much you get? $250 to bet with. It is the best place to place all of your sports, deals at Ward O'Hara. We're about to party after this. And the deals that I'm betting on right now are the over-under in this football game. And then I'm also betting on the Raiders at plus 3.5. Give me the Raiders to win this game outright. And then also give me the Raiders and Broncos score to be more than 44 points. That's what I think ends up going down. And if you want to bet one more time, it's chatsports.com/Raiders. Promo code Raiders125. Let's go to the next trade idea here. And you're going to trade Andre James and Hunter Renfrow. This is, again, a deal that I would offer Tampa Bay. Do I think Tampa Bay is going to accept an offer where they get 0 draft picks? Probably not. But the reason why I would try to pull this one off is because Tampa Bay just lost their starting center, Ryan Jensen. He's done. It's back-to-back seasons, and he's out. Yes, I know the Raiders like Andre, but you can move on from James. You could save $6.5 million. You also move on from Hunter Renfrow. That saves a decent amount of money on top of that. So maybe you could use that, 16 whatever-ish mil and invest that onto your defense, or go out and invest it on another offensive lineman. You kick Dylan Parham to center, and if you're like, I don't know if I like other left guards out there, Dalton Reisner is still a free agent. You could go out and sign a Dalton Reisner, plug him in at offensive guard, you kick Dylan Parham over to center, and now you got Mike Evans at wide receiver. This is a very tricky situation with Tampa Bay because I get it. They are in tank mode. And the Raiders, I don't want to have to give up a lot. And yeah, giving up 2 potential starters to get a player that we don't really need, but it is an upgrade, I do think is at least worthy of talking about here. So here's my second trade idea for Mike Evans. What do you think? Who wins this trade? Is it Andre James, Hunter Renfrow going to Tampa? Type Bucks. Or if you think the Raiders still end up winning this one, then I want you to type LBR down below. I know it's not easy moving on from our offensive line. And honestly, I'm kind of more upset about moving on from Andre James and Hunter Renfrow because James, to me, is going to make a bigger impact this season than Renfrow. And then the final trade offer that I got here, and this is more of Tampa Bay saying, hey, Evans wants to go play with Devontae. This is what's going to happen. I don't love the idea of giving up draft picks, but if they're like, hey, man, I don't want to trade. I don't want Renfrow. I don't want Andre James. Here's going to be the deal that I would offer them if it's strictly picks. I'd say it's a 3rd and a 5th-round pick. Take it or leave it. 3rd and the 5th for Mike Evans. It's not nearly probably what they would want. They might want more, but also I got to say this because, and I know what's going to happen. People are going to take a screenshot of this on social media. They're going to throw it out there without a lot of context. The only way that I'm also doing this is if I know that I have something in place to get rid of Hunter Renfrow. And it's not that I'm trying to get rid of Renfrow. It is more of you just put Jacoby in the slot and you have your 2 outside receivers. It doesn't make sense to trade for Mike Evans and then also have Hunter Renfrow, Jacoby Myers, Trey Tucker, DeAndre Carter, and Devontae Adams on your team. It doesn't make sense. There's just too many mouths to feed. So the only way I'm doing that is if there's a team that goes, all right, we'll give you at least something for Hunter. That's when I pull the trigger on this. So who wins this type of deal? This is my least favorite out of all the trades, but I do think it's one that Tampa Bay would ask for simply because they would look for draft picks. So if you think the Las Vegas Raiders win, type Las Vegas. Or if you think Tampa Bay wins, I want you to type Tampa Bay. And the reason why I'm telling y'all to type all these different things is that way when I go back and I watch this video live, when I go back and watch this video, I can see what trade you're talking about, and I can see where you voted. That's really, really important to me. So as I mentioned, though, the only way I'm doing that one is if you move on from this guy, which it sucks because Hunter Renfrow is a fan favorite. He's a player that I know a lot of us like a lot, but I'm trying to make this team better. And if Mike Evans is available, he is almost a locked and loaded 1,000-yard receiver. That means you'd have 3,000-yard potential receivers. Devontae's going to get his. Jacoby has potential to put up 1,000. And Mike Evans has potential to obviously put up 1,000 since he's done it every single year. That makes your offense a lot better as far as I'm concerned. So in conclusion, a Mike Evans trade isn't impossible due to his relationship with Tom Brady and what relationships mean to Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler. Do I think it's likely? No. But I did not think that a Khalil Mack trade was likely. I didn't think that a Devontae Adams trade was likely. The thing we've seen with this Raiders team, a lot of shit happens that some people say that's never going to happen. My point is I've covered this team a long time, and I feel like I know what McDaniels and Ziegler look for. If they believe they can upgrade a position at a reduced cost, that interests them. And then on top of that, they really, really love solid relationships. And Mike Evans has a great relationship with Tom Brady. Tom Brady has a great relationship with Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, which is why I think a trade, not likely, but it's not impossible. What player are you most excited to watch against the Broncos in Week 1? Let us know down in the comments section. But you know what, Chugs? Some wild shit happened while we were just recording that. Oh!
Banging going on in today's show. Jack might watch it 7 times.
Wow. With his right hand even. Eduardo Haro. Eduardo, I'm just going to tell you, you're 100 away from a gong. 100 away from a gong rip.
And that's 3 boots.
That is 3 boots for you. 3 boots for seeing your
Whenever I first
jokes.
made this deal, I really did not think I would be drinking that much.
We got 3 Fireball boots coming up here on the Raiders Report. Uno. Next thing that we're going to do is we are going to get into a Raiders-Broncos preview. I know, insane, man. This is what an insane show. Brandon, the great tuna, I see you're down in the chat. Oh! For the second time today, Eduardo Haro. Eduardo. Spam Eduardo in the chat. Here we go. Vincenzo, Scott, Rebel Montana, Cody Clark, Raylord 84, Diehard Raider Fan 365. Now we got something special for Eduardo and Refined Zeus on Thursday. I don't know what the deal's going to be.
Wow.
Jeremy and I have to go to the drawing board tomorrow. But Eduardo and, oh my lord, Refined Zeus are pulling out all the stops today.
Do we need to do more fireball boots?
You got one more. Don't you now?
Oh, yeah. He sent in another 100.
Yep. No, hey, you made the deal. You made the deal. You're doing great, though.
Dude.
You're doing phenomenal.
This is a lot more than I thought.
Now the fireball boots seem kind of effed up. They're big shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of big shots. Also, Tuna, I got your mail. Should I read it here on the Raiders Report?
Woo.
Or is that just between us? Because you also said that I'll know when it happens. And anytime I get something like that, I'm like, well, how do we know?
Mitch just got a letter. Mitch just got a letter. Wonder who it's from. It's Brandon.
What up, Adane Ventura?
Adonai?
Adonai? Thanks for replying back on Instagram. Hope one day we can take that pic. You know, Adonai, I always do my best to go on IG, and I try to respond to as many people as humanly possible. In fact, Jeremy, this kind of reminds me.
Refine just says GG Eduardo.
GG. Yeah, I mean, he got him pretty good, which, Jeremy, I'm actually going to send you a picture. If you could put this photo in our next segment, that would mean a lot to me personally.
Mitch just got a letter.
Oh, my God.
Mitch just got a letter.
Brandon says September 17th, Mitch. I'm guessing Raiders-Bills are that day?
Also, my birthday.
Oh, yeah. It is his birthday. September 17th is Jeremy's birthday, so it's going to be a crazy show. But I always appreciate when people hit me up on all these different types of platforms, and I had a really, really crazy experience over the weekend where I had a young Raider fan. He hit me up. He goes, "Hey, man, my dad, you know, he's not doing all that well. Could you give him a call, and could you guys talk for a little bit?" We ended up FaceTiming for probably close to an hour. And believe it or not, like, getting a message there from Brandon, like, he literally wrote me a handwritten message just saying, you know, how much he appreciates the show. And Brandon, I'll read that off September 17th. But then also getting a DM, like the one that I got over the weekend, I mean, it was cool. Now, I had some free time, so I was able to FaceTime, like I said, these Raider fans for probably a good hour. But I do my best to check my DMs as much as I possibly can. And if I don't answer your DM, I try to go through as many as I possibly can. And I try to answer them to the best of my ability instead of just saying, cool, okay, thanks. If I like what you said and I don't have time to respond to 50, I usually just heart them. But it's all love, man. Rebel said also locals. Yes, now that the season's back, we have pick'ems out there right now. Tomorrow I'm going to be live on locals, and then Friday I got a fantasy football challenge for everybody over on locals. It will be for supporters only. Yep, we're doing fantasy challenges every single week over on Locals. So it's RaidersReport.locals.com if you want to get that extra content and check it out. Tommy says, I'm 26.
I guess what they call, the people in the streets are calling it content.
It's gone. Yeah. Tommy said, what up, man?
We're done.
Yep. It's call for a tuna clock from Rebel. Huh? If it's out, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Fingernails for cash.com. Fingernails for cash. All right, so this was the picture that I ended up taking here, and I don't know if I can reveal names all the time, so I just want to say thank you a lot for this conversation. Anytime I get the opportunity to, like I said, mingle with Raider fans, we had this for, an hour? We talked Raiders football. We talked life. We talked fantasy football. So the son, who's kind of like, on the side of the picture, said, hey, my dad watches all the time. Can you show him some love? So I said I'll put you up on the Raiders Report, and it was a really, really cool thing. We were slamming Mike's Hard, Modelo, and he was drinking Sierra Nevada. I think that's the name, Sierra Nevada.
Sierra Mist?
No, it's a beer. I think it's Sierra Nevada.
Tommy, Mucky, appreciate that.
Yeah, Mucky, much love, man. Really, really appreciate everything, people sending all that in. Happy birthday to Chugs, September 17th. It's going down. It's going down here on the Raiders Report.
It's going down for real.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale from Tommy, yeah. It's one of the best beers out there. I think it's amazing.
Going down for real.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I know. When I said it's. You ever say something so much that you start to say it and it doesn't seem right? That's what just happened to me.
I always am like typing something out, and I type a word, and I'm like, that word does not look right.
Yeah, there's no way that can exist.
Can you rate my fantasy draft? Hashtag Raiders from Emilio. Send it in a super chat, and I'll put it up on the show, Emilio.
Probably the easiest way, man. It's probably the easiest way to do that. All right, y'all, coming up here on the show, we're going to get into a Raiders-Broncos Week 1 preview, and I got some keys to victory for both sides of the football. But how about this? Let me know. What player are you most excited to watch against the Broncos in Week 1?
Raphael, if you do that, just make sure to poke holes in the boxes.
What is it?
So they can breathe.
Oh. I'm like, what are you getting sent here, man? I have no idea. What are you sending?
Just poke holes in the boxes so they have some air coming in.
Which boxes?
Well, he said he's going to mail order strippers.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
But if they're coming in the mail, you have to box them.
Okay. I just didn't know
if
where.
you're boxing them, you got to put the holes in there.
No, I'm just making sure you're not putting holes in other boxes.
No.
All right, we're just making sure.
Nah.
All right, what's the number one player you're watching? Because I know a lot of people I see right now saying Jacobs. Probably got a few people saying Max Crosby. It's Jimmy Garoppolo for me. Well.
Oh! Brandon Jasper! Toss it up! Bang!
Down for the tuna clock and locals. For the best content, personal interactions, weekly pick'ems, it's the season, and more live shows. That's right. If you want more live content, think of it as the Raiders Report OnlyFans. I keep my clothes on. RaidersReport.locals.com. Now that it is the season, we will do weekly pick'ems. Winner of those weekly pick'ems will get a shout out on the Raiders Report. I go live every Wednesday, and then we're going to do a fantasy challenge on Friday, which also will result in a shout out here live on the Raiders Report.
The season for pick'ems, locals. Get more content from Mitch, locals. Brandon Jasper, Patrick B, locals.
Oh man, I'll tell you what. You got a great voice, which I don't know what I'm going to do Thursday night football. No Chugs karaoke.
Dude,
Rolly's going to have to step it up.
Rolly said he's doing karaoke on Thursday night.
Well, that's good. Rolly karaoke Thursday night.
Yep. Rolly's playing all the hits.
Loosen up those vocal cords out there, Rolly.
Rolly's giving me one of these.
A lot of salt water.
He even bit his lip and he said, "Oh yeah."
Wow.
This one's for Brandon Jasper.
When the fireball starts to hit. When it starts to creep up on you a little bit.
La, 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 locals.
Cody Clark, what up, what up? John Borelli. Oh, Borelli says, my guy Rolly, let's go. It's going to be a fun show. Thursday's going to be a fun show.
Saying Rolly.
Rolly, getting some love for Mount Raider more.
I just want to rolly with the dabber Ridge.
I got some love for John Borelli. He was always a real one. He always tuned in for our games, the playoff games, during the NBA. He was tuning into the Heat games. He was tuning into the Warriors, Lakers games. Shout out John Borelli. Hope he's there on Thursday for the party that we're gonna have.
Rolly said he's gonna carry on my tradition. He's gonna do karaoke Thursday night.
I got one song.
Well, you can just look up the lyrics, and then just sing whatever song they want.
I believe in you.
I think that though, after one song,
dude,
they will be asking.
Rolly does a mean impression of Poker Face.
Yeah.
Poker face, poker face.
It's even better when he does it without saying anything. If you put it on mute, it's even better when Rolly sings Poker Face. Brandon, thanks, man, for tuning in and always showing love. Always showing love. I know some people are still asking about Chandler Jones. If you haven't seen the video that I put out earlier this morning, go check it out. And then the latest right now on the whole Chandler Jones situation is the Raiders have tried to reach out to Jones and his agent, but have not heard anything in return. It seems like a really weird entire situation. I'm hoping that we get...
He got hacked!
He did not get hacked. He did not get hacked. Every time... I was trying to think of an analogy over the weekend for the video that always pops up on my social media at really random times. You ever see that video where it's just like the guys are just hitting themselves in the nuts with like the brick?
I posted it on my Twitter like 2 weeks ago, and I said Cowboys fans getting ready for the postseason this year.
Yeah, I thought of it as like trying to explain to Raider fans that Derek Carr was also part of the problem. I also feel like right now it's like Chandler Jones didn't get hacked, and that's what I'm trying to explain to Raider fans that think that that's the case.
You're like me, a Raiders fan, trying to just have a normal offseason.
For real, though. That's actually probably a better one, man. Probably a better one.
Adonai said all the rookies, one of them has the ball out. Trey Tucker?
Out of all the rookies, if you're asking which rookie do I think has the biggest game?
I know. I already know who you're going to say.
Who?
Let's both say it on three.
Okay. One, two, three.
Ja'Cory Bennett. Oh, I know you so well.
Well, I look at it more from the Broncos have not a lot of wide receiver talent right now. I think Bennett's going to have a really solid game. Somebody said Aiden O'Connell. If Aiden O'Connell has the best game as a rookie, it's probably a bad thing. I'm going to guess. Unless Jimmy goes down early, but...
Jimmy cracked corn.
If Jimmy goes down early in this game, I'll say it right now, Aiden's the quarterback the rest of the year. I think if Aiden touches that field...
AOC.
I think it's his job to lose then. I really, truly do. Ronnie Smith says Chris Smith. Chris Smith might get some opportunities.
My guy.
I really want to see how the Raiders' defense looks. Now, obviously, I'm excited to see the offense. That's where a lot of the concentration is going to be. But that defense, man, it's time to put up or shut up time. And the amount of attention that this Raiders defense is going to get, it's not going to be like Colorado beating TCU type of attention.
Sorry, Harry.
But I do think if you can make Russell Wilson look bad again and then make him look bad with Sean Payton, the storylines that are going to be circulating around that, it's going to be great to beat them on Sunday. But then to have all of that added on Monday, Tuesday,
Wednesday.
Oh, man, that's going to make it all that much sweeter. So coming up here right now, We are going to get into a preview against the Denver Broncos.
Lucky King said, how about my bus, though?
So who?
How about my bus? Colorado Buffaloes.
Oh. Another one! Brandon Jasper Bang! All hail the great Tuna! Just because of your hard work and bringing so many people entertainment and smiles on our faces, can I get a Raiders? You want a shout out here on the show? Spam Tuna. Tuna.
Tuna.
Tuna.
Tuna.
I will say, if there's one food that I will not eat, kind of like Koopa tomatoes, it's probably tuna. Can't do
So
it.
are we talking like sushi tuna or like out of the can?
Out of the can tuna.
Out of the can tuna.
Sushi, I'm okay. It doesn't bother me as much. Rebel Montana Anthony. We got Jaime, Matthew, Travis, Mr. Borelli.
Is it just because the can's already cooked?
I don't know what it is. It's the smell. The smell of tuna, it just can't do it. EG Surf Life. What up, Hannah? Dana Palecchio. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Palacio. And then also, Ricky Williams suggested the league should allow players, of course, to be treated with marijuana postgame. I'll tell you what, that would be a hell of a postgame reaction show. That's all I know.
Huh. Jimmy, what were you seeing out there? Oh, dude, I don't even know, man. Shit was actually wild. Like, when you think about it, it's kind of like in old Greek and Roman times where it's like we're in the Colosseum and we're just warriors out there battling one another. It's crazy.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I don't know where you just went, but I was there. I felt like I was there. That was good. That definitely wasn't your first rodeo.
Like, when you think about, like, jerseys
Yeah.
and numbers, we're just all kind of like, you know, serial codes. Mine is 10. And that's how you know me. Shit's actually crazy.
I think we're going to have to cut off this fireball boot deal. I think we're almost going to have to cut him off here pretty soon.
Shit's actually kind of wild when you think about it.
Oh, my Lord. Y'all crack me up, Brandon.
Why don't they call it throw ball?
Brandon, I'm not worthy, my guy. Thank you. I mean it. People who watch this show, they make it a lot of fun. I love doing what we do. Being able to get the tattoo last week was really, really freaking cool. Thursday, Friday, had a lot of people reach out to me. Had a lot of people reach out to my tattoo artist, Sayer. Shout out to him again if you haven't followed him on IG. Sayer, which is SEYER_tattoo. Give him a follow. Show him a little bit of love. But, man, I think we got to get into this next segment here, or else I'm worried some of the buttons are going to just not get clicked.
Week 1? That's kind of wild when you think about it. It's like the first week of the year.
So you know how I do my, I don't know, like weird Raider voice at super high pitch? What if that was your high Raider?
Like, when you think of the shield,
Yeah.
is it protecting us from them, or is it protecting the rest of the world from Raider fans? Shit's kind of crazy.
Coming up here live on the Raiders Report. Borelli said, "What are buttons, bruh?" Yeah. See, the way that all these graphics move, buttons.
Buttons? I have a button on my shirt, but if I press it, nothing happens. Shit's kind of crazy.
Spacebar. Now we're talking about jokes that nobody understands. All right, coming up right now, Week 1 matchup. Raiders on the road against the Denver Broncos. You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go to Mile High then. Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Las Vegas up against the Denver Broncos, NFL Week 1. I am Mitchell Renz, and coming up on today's show, Let's give you a week 1 preview. Football is so back, and if you're ready for some Raiders football, can I get some Raiders spam down below? Because I know one thing. I know that the Broncos were bad last season, but anytime you go up against an AFC West rival with Sean Payton now and Russell Wilson, oh man, we got to be able to bring the energy. I know this, though, also. Anytime I drop a video like this, you get a lot of Broncos fans, you get a lot of the opposing team in the comments. And I want to make sure that we still dominate the comments. I want to dominate it just like we tried at Raiders home games. So predict this score for me right now. Denver Broncos up against the Las Vegas Raiders as it stands right now that I'm recording this video. Broncos 3.5-point favorites, and the over-under is set at 44. So not only do I want to be breaking down some of the keys to victory on the offensive side of the football, I also want to be breaking down some of the keys to victory on the defensive side. So what I try to compile today is give you my top 5 things that I want the offense and defense to do, and I believe if they do them, you're going to come away with a just win, baby. Let's go to the very first one, and this is always the obvious one. You got to be able to protect Jimmy Garoppolo, but this doesn't just fall on the offensive line. Yes, the offensive line needs to keep Jimmy G protected. I also think that an easy way to protect Jimmy is to get the ball out quickly. Get your receivers open fast. And the other reason that you could probably protect him is running the football solid or effectively, constantly, whatever the word is, with Josh Jacobs. All of those things are going to protect Garoppolo. Colton Miller, Jermaine Illumina are going to be your starting tackles, and Dylan Parham, Greg Van Roten at right guard, Andre James at center. This is a top 10 overall offensive line unit. I'm excited to see them get to work against Denver. Next thing coming up here in order to get a win is you got to feed Jacobs. And I know I've been on this show before, and I've said I'm worried to see how much work the Raiders give Jacobs because he wasn't there for OTAs, minicamp, training camp in the preseason. But to me, though, now it's the opportunity where you got to put some of that other stuff that maybe you were upset with, you got to put on the back burner because there's only one thing that matters now, and that's winning football games. You can be confident in Zamir White. You can be confident in Brandon Bolden. You can be confident in Amir Abdullah. But none of those guys are even close to what Jacobs gives you. And then on top of that, Jacobs has feasted against Denver. I'm pretty sure Denver calls Josh Jacobs daddy because of all the success that this young man has against the Broncos. Keep Jimmy Garoppolo upright, feed Josh Jacobs, and then maybe this one might be the biggest. You got to convert in the red zone. The Raiders last season did a good job getting to the red zone, but then they ranked 27th in the league in converting in the red zone. If you're only getting field goals and your team that you're going up against is getting touchdowns, you're going to lose more than you win. And this Raiders team has a lot of talent on offense. I anticipate that they're going to have plenty of opportunities to move the football down the field. But once you get in the red zone, it is time to convert, especially on the road. Let's go to the next thing here I want to see. I want to see tons of pre-snap motion. I want to see DeAndre Carter and Trey Tucker just running back and forth, back and forth. I want to know if the defense is playing man. Are they playing zone? Where the Mike linebacker is going to be, because all that also ties back in to protecting Jimmy Garoppolo. One of the things that I love that Kansas City used to do with Tyreek Hill is Tyreek used to go flying all over the football field, and then they would call hike. I want to see the Raiders get Trey Tucker working early in that regard, and then that also helps out Devontae realizing, hey, man, am I going to have a one-on-one opportunity here? It's also going to realize, hey, is there going to be safety coverage over the top? When you get players on defense moving around, it creates a lot of mismatches. I want to see tons of pre-snap motion. And then the final thing here is this. You got to stay aggressive in the second half. I don't know if the Raiders took their foot off the gas pedal a lot last season. All I know is if the Raiders are up 1 point, 10 points, 30 points in the second half, there's a reason why you had the lead going into halftime. We don't need to do anything crazy. Far too often, I thought that McDaniels went too conservative, and we got to also call a spade a spade. Derek Carr crumbled in the second half of games. It is a clean slate. I don't want to talk about DC anymore. I don't want to talk about 2022 anymore. All I want to know is that this Raiders team is going to come ready to play in the second half, because if you don't think that that's the top storyline going into every single half, you are absolutely positively crazy. We still got some keys to victory for the defensive side of the football coming up here, but our sportsbook partner, BetUS, is continually changing the game. And if you want to get the best deal on the internet, use promo code Raiders125 at chatsports.com/Raiders. That gets you 125% deposit bonus, which means if you put down $100 for first-time depositors, you're going to get $125 for free to bet with. In fact, you can actually put down up to $500, and they're going to give you $625 for free to bet with. The deal that I'm going to be making this weekend, I got two of them for you. I'm betting the over for the Raiders-Broncos game, and I'm also taking the Raiders to just win outright. If you just want to have the Raiders covering 3.5, which means that they are 3.5-point underdogs as it stands right now, you can do that. But I believe that this team's going to win. Broncos, lots, and I mean lots of injuries to be able to deal with. So now coming up here on the show is the defensive keys for the Silver and Black. Offense is fun to talk about. Fantasy football has put a lot of conversation starters on the offensive side of the football. But I always say this, man. When I sit down and I meet Raider fans in person, I know the die-hard fans. Like, I'm talking like this guy bleeds silver and black. The guys that know a lot talk to me about defense first and then make their way to offense because it is what is needed to be fixed for a very long time. So the first thing that we got to do is get after Russell Wilson. Max Crosby can't do it by himself. Crosby last year against Denver had 4 sacks and was just an absolute menace. But guess what? I'm going to be looking at Tyree Wilson. Chandler Jones, how about you take some of that anger that you got going on right now working at a public gym and you take it out on Sean Payton and Russell. Malcolm Kuntz, I need more from you. The big guys up front, I need more from you. If it is just the Condor show, yeah, it can be successful. But in order to make this defense top 20, top 15, hell, if we're a top 10 defense this year, I don't know what I'm going to think. Raiders got a top 10 defense. They're winning more than 10 games. You can freaking book it. But the key to get after the Broncos is to get after Russell Wilson and make him flustered. Because if he starts looking bad, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, shit, maybe Sean Payton should have stayed retired. Let's go to the next thing here. You don't let Courtland Sutton beat you. From what it is reporting right now, and I talked to a few Broncos insiders, and they are a lot more unconfident that Jerry Jeudy is going to be able to play in this Week 1 game, which means it's Courtland Sutton. And then after that, they don't have a lot of wide receiver talent due to the amount of injuries that team has sustained. So if you don't let Courtland Sutton beat you, that means you're having a lot of unknown receivers trying to take you down. I can't wait to see Marcus Peters. I can't wait to see Jacorian Bennett. If it was up to me, I would put Peters on Courtland Sutton because I think that's a really solid matchup overall. But here's the thing. If you take Courtland Sutton out of this game, almost play like a box and one, hell, double team him. I actually like the way that the Raiders match up. And they match up pretty damn well, especially if they're playing man. Let's go to the next thing here. It's make Denver one-dimensional. The area of concern for me is if the Broncos get rolling here. Because Russell Wilson, to me, when he's at his best, when he can start working off play action, and then they get the running game going. If the Raiders get out to an early lead, and then the Broncos are forced to just do a lot more shotgun, not run the football. That allows your big guys up front to pin their ears back and get after Wilson. You make Denver one-dimensional. Russell Wilson at this point of his career, and with that wide receiver room, is not good enough. Take away the running game, make them beat you through the air. The Raiders have a lot better secondary than they do defensive tackles. That's where I want to go. Next thing up here is play press man coverage. I want the Raiders to be physical. I want the Raiders to be in their face, beating up Denver. I loved what I saw from joint practice. I loved from what I saw from a lot of the preseason games. Patrick Graham wants to get physical, and a lot of the players that he brought in this offseason were to bring that physicality, bring that swagger. Well, let's do it. I want to play man when we match up as well as what we do with this Raiders team. Has anybody ever played pickup basketball? When you play in that team, like when Chugs and I play Graph and Wasted, we're playing man. Why? Because we're better athletes. I was going to say superior athletes. Definitely superior athletes. And to me, the Raiders have the better athletes, the better football players. So I want to see some physicality, some press man coverage. That's going to result in some good things. My final thing is this, and some of you might get this, some of you might not. KISS-style defense. And you're like, what the hell is he talking about? One of my professors in school used to always say, keep it simple, stupid. And it's always stuck with me. And sometimes when you explain things to somebody, sometimes when you just do something, you keep it simple. And Patrick Graham has really tried to, I'm going to use dumb down his defense a little bit, which sounds kind of harsh, but he has made his defense simpler, right? This is a young football team with a lot of new faces out there. And I want my players to not be thinking, but just being athletic and going out there and reacting. So even if you got this whole freaking playbook ready to rock and roll, let's just cut it down a little bit, and let's, instead of trying to do 20 things good, let's do 10 things amazing. That's what I want to see from this Raiders defense. Patrick Graham, the overall unit, keeping it simple, stupid. That's what I want to see. So one more time here are my 5 offensive keys. You got to protect Jimmy G. Let Josh Jacobs feast. Convert in the red zone. Lots of pre-snap motion. Stay aggressive in the second half, Josh. Put your balls on the table and stay aggressive in the second half. And then my 5 defensive keys. Get after Russell Wilson, fluster him. Don't let Cortland Sutton beat you by himself. If you make Denver one-dimensional, take away the running game, that's going to result in some good things. Let's get some press man coverage and keep it simple, stupid. Now, for those that do not know, yes, I am live here right now. I'm going to be live every Tuesday. I'm also going to be live every single Monday on top of that. Bright and early Mondays is going to be one fun show, but we will be live on Mondays, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm going to be live for every single Thursday game day, so later shows on Thursday. It's kind of like Thursday happy hour, but this week it's going to be Chiefs, Lions. Be ready to rock and roll with Rolly and I. And then Sunday, it's week 1. It's insane to me that football is freaking back. I can't wait. Make sure you're subscribed for that one because Chugs and I are getting litty-titty on that. Now, before I head on out of here, since we're going to be looking at the Lions and Chiefs game, and we're going to be live for it, who you got? Are you going to go with Detroit, or are you going to be rolling with the Chiefs as it stands right now? The latest update around Travis Kelce is he is doubtful to play in this football game. Travis Kelce doubtful, still no update from the time I am recording with Chris Jones. A lot of unknowns for Kansas City. I still think the Chiefs are the better team because they have Patrick Mahomes. But this game is getting really, really interesting. And whoa, man. If Detroit comes out on top and the Chiefs look like they're in trouble, as soon as blood's in the water, that's where the Sharks feast. So we'll see what ends up happening. Again, we're going to be live, Lions, Chiefs, Thursday night. Hope to see you there. All right, y'all, we are getting ready to wrap up today's live show. And I mean, shout out to Brandon Jasper. Shout out to Eduardo Haro, and then shout out to Refined Zeus. Guys came out to play today. Baller alert, man.
On the table.
Yep. Patrick B. Kelce is not a young man. Did I say he's a young man? I don't know.
Never made it as a wise man.
Also very, very true. What is your excitement level for Raiders Broncos on Sunday? Scale it from 1 to 10. It's got to be a 10, right? I mean, it's got to be a 10. The excitement level I have for this football game is just on a whole nother level.
Maddie's at a 10. Refined Zeus is at 100,000 out of 10.
Wow.
That's
saying something.
That's right there. Rebels at an 8. Martin at 11. A Loco Uno 10. Tropical Remy 10. Raider Sancho 9. Raider Sancho, I think I saw you say that you were from Rochester. Is that correct, Raider Sancho? If so, thoughts on chicken French?
Chicken French. This debate here of chicken French is going to continue.
Raider Sancho, you said you're from Rochester. Thoughts on the chicken French?
Did he really say that?
Yep. Raider Sancho, let me know.
Love chicken French.
Oh, there we go. He said loves chicken French.
Oh, man.
Big win for Rolly right there.
Yeah, Rolly needed that.
Prepare for December. Everyone's getting a meal.
Yeah, I'm ready. I don't know why we have to wait for December, but...
That's when it's parentals.
Oh, I got it.
Just like I used to make you, Rolly, my famous chicken French.
We just find out it's just like rotisserie chicken and some like French dressing. Just that's it. Here you go. Eat up. Hopefully you enjoyed it. What up, Tommy? What up, Extreme PC Vids? He said, I like Keelan Cole. Yes, the Raiders did make a move. They added Keelan Cole.
Keelan Cole.
They added Keelan Cole to the practice squad. So, Jeremy, here's what I want to do. I want to stay live for a little bit longer here. I want to interact with the nation, answer a few questions.
Hashtag Raiders or Super Chat.
That's what we're going to do. Hashtag Raiders or Super Chat to get those questions, comments here live on the Raiders Report. So basically, if you use hashtag Raiders, you're going to hop in line. You're going to have an opportunity to get on the show right here, just like Amazing. If you want to skip the line, send in a super. We'll answer them. We'll answer questions for, let's go, 20 minutes.
Never made it as a wise man.
Do you think Caleb Williams complete at a high level against compete against Patrick and Justin for the next 5 to 10 years from what you've seen so far in his college career? I mean, Caleb Williams to me has all the ability in the world.
You were in a ton of pain and was off during this part, but Wasted was trying to tell me Caleb Williams bust.
To me, Caleb, I am worried. I am more worried about Caleb Williams busting than Drake May. Yeah, I know. Like, Williams might have more talent than Drake May, but I think time and time again, right, and I'm looking at this from a Raiders perspective, to me, Drake May is a better fit with what Josh McDaniels wants compared to somebody like Caleb Williams, where Williams, I get worried because he knows he's got all the tools, but he's not fully ready to compete up here. May is.
I just feel like Caleb Williams is unbustable. It's going to be injury or put on like an awful team with no weapons and the worst O-line possible. That's the only way I see Caleb Williams not being a good quarterback in the NFL. Not great.
I think Caleb Williams goes to Arizona. That's a bustable situation to me.
I think regardless, I think Caleb Williams, no matter what, will be maybe he won't live up to the expectations of being the first overall pick.
Okay.
I think his floor is like Jared Goff.
For Caleb Williams?
Not the same play style, but I'm saying like how good they are in the league.
I mean, that's fair.
I think that is his like worst case scenario. You have a Jared Goff type player.
I mean, honestly, I could say the same for Drake May. Like, Drake May's floor to me is like Jared Goff. But to me, Drake, like, this might be an unpopular opinion, but from a arm talent standpoint, like, Drake's arm talent is unbelievable to me. I mean, I love watching that kid play. Both quarterbacks to me are going to be very good. I also love what I saw from Penix as well, the quarterback out of Washington. Hell, even, Sanders' kid looked pretty good. We got a question asking about.
Sure.
I'll say, and I think Harry would agree with this, TCU didn't look like a top 17 team. Like I felt like they were ranked because of what happened last season. When I was watching them, Colorado was very impressive. It's a hell of a game, but TCU is just not there this year.
I think TCU's
Better than they played, but
they're clearly gonna take a step.
Are you out on Chandler Morris?
I just think he has limitations. I mean, he's 6 foot 190, and
yeah, and he wears number 4.
when you're
He's actually 5'11".
when you're undersized, you gotta see the field.
He's 5'11".
Like you gotta be able to go through several reads, and
He's
Yeah.
definitely.
really show that.
No, I hear you. Though, if
he's
he had the
definitely
amount of time to throw as Shanor did, he probably could have threw it a little bit more. He had all day to throw. Let's go to Raider Dabs. Jacobs and Renfro in my draft. What's your take? PPR or a standard league? PPR or standard? Because I had my family draft. I had my family draft yesterday, and I got Josh Jacobs, which
Round 2?
yeah. Now our family league does 2 QB league.
Oh.
So 2 QB league,
So-
10 team.
So was it like first couple picks were like Patrick Mahomes, Josh
First
Allen?
picks are always QB, and I love my family league, but
Where'd you
quarterback
pick?
score so much.
Where'd you pick?
I want to say I was almost near the I was 4th overall pick. Yeah, that makes sense.
So who first pick?
I took Burrow. But again, quarterbacks, the amount of points that they score, so if you throw for 300 yards, it's 6 points. Like when I tell you QBs put up 50 points a week and then like Jacobs will put up 20 maybe. You have 2 really good QBs, you're sitting pretty.
Wow.
Yeah, so I have Burrow and Aaron Rodgers as my 2 quarterbacks.
Wow. I bet your dad was pissed about that.
I picked 2 right before my dad, and then my cousin, who was also right before me, he's a big Packer fan. And as soon as I draft him, he's like, mother, like freaked out. But in terms of both of these players right here, if it's a PPR league, I do think Renfro's got some upside. Jacobs makes me nervous because of the amount of work that he had last season. But Renfro's going to have a better year. Jacobs is going to come down a little bit in terms of overall production. So, pretty solid. Let's go to Ed. What do you think about Jones to Baltimore for Patrick Queen? They're not going to do it. Like, Patrick Queen is far more valuable than Chandler Jones at this point in the career. If Chandler goes back to getting 10 sacks, different question.
Eduardo, if you're trying to get crazy, at Mitchell Renz 365 on Venmo, if you're trying to get crazy, he says he can't send more money on Super Chat.
Eduardo, you do that, and so the reason why we started doing like jersey deals is I know people are like, oh, they got the 500 on Super Chat. I always try to be a very transparent person. When you send in supers, YouTube takes a cut of that. So we always tell people to go to Venmo. That's why Eduardo and Refined aren't quite at what they need to be to get themselves a Raider jersey. Eduardo, you throw in that type of Venmo right now, and I'll turn up here.
Shit's getting wild.
If Eduardo sends in that type of Venmo, we'll extend the show until 5:30, and we'll drink. That's my deal. If Eduardo's willing to do that, let's get weird.
Says, yo, I'm trying to donate 50 Bitcoin.
Oh, Tommy says Mitch doesn't drink anymore. Only on Thursdays and game days.
How much Bitcoin for a boot?
I have no idea. I'm more of a chat coin guy, personally.
Eduardo, the Venmo is right there. Mitchell Renz 365. It's the same as his Instagram.
Correct. At Mitchell Renz 365, Eduardo.
But sorry, I cut you off with the Patrick Queen.
No, I think Patrick Queen is a good linebacker, right? But like this trade doesn't make sense for either team. It truly doesn't. Like I like the idea because it's a big name for a big name. Like if I put this on a show, it would do well. But the content-wise, it's not going to happen. Let's go to Raider X, and then I just saw we got a super chat from Eric. I heard a bunch of stuff this weekend about the upcoming quarterback class. Get another QB that can stick with AOC. The quarterback class in this up year, like, it's really impressive. Like
Quinn Ewers, Spencer Rattler.
Both very talented. There's going to be teams that take shots on both of those players because of the arm talent. I'm telling you right now, like Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, I think Bryce Young would have been the third best quarterback in next year's class. I think CJ Stroud would have been the fourth or fifth best quarterback in next year's class. QBs get hyped up every year. The QBs coming up here in 2024, they're legit. A lot of really talented players out there. Eric, if SC
South Carolina
had an O-line, they would have won 9 sacks in that game.
Yeah, Rolly was telling me some crazy stat about North Carolina last year. They only had 17 sacks, 9 sacks in the first game.
Yep. I mean,
over half from what they had last year.
And I get a lot of people, they're going to say, oh, like, look at the numbers. And Caleb Williams, the numbers he's putting up are incredible. No doubt about it. But with Drake May, the talent that he's going to have at the NFL, it's a lot different than what he's dealing with at North Carolina. Like, I watched that game. When I look at May, how easy the ball comes out of his hands, his ability to read the field, it's all there for me. Like, I know the numbers didn't really show that, and he will even probably tell you that he didn't have the best game either. Drake May, to me, is the best quarterback prospect in college football right now. That's how much I like him. To translate to the NFL.
And?
It's close.
Oh, it's close.
It's close. Yeah. I think it's close.
And the last part of the question.
Yep.
Would you draft Shedeur Sanders?
No. I got to see more. Like, Shedeur Sanders was a fun story.
Show me more. Show me more.
I got to see a lot more. He was a lot more accurate on the deep ball than what I originally anticipated. Like, he probably should have thrown for 600 if there weren't a few drops. Also, the underrated MVP of that game was Colorado's offensive line. Shedeur had all day to throw. I
actually follow this guy on TikTok.
Yep.
He's a pretty cool follow. His name is Rico Knows.
Okay.
And he always puts out stuff about his whole thing is college football.
Okay.
College football. He was saying before the game.
Yep.
Before the TCU Colorado game.
I'm listening.
Sneaky good O-line is Colorado.
Interesting.
That they have a couple transfers coming in with experience. and have played a ton of football before. So even though it's like I think they had one or two guys who are from, like, had been at Colorado a couple years.
Yep.
And they had been starters for a couple years. But he's like, across the offensive line, they have like 15, 16 years of experience in college football.
Yeah.
And that's always good for a college offensive line.
It showed, man.
But if you haven't checked them out, go check them out. Rico Knows on TikTok. Pretty good follow for college football.
I'm telling you what, I was super impressed with their offensive line play.
He also called Duke beating Clemson. He
knows ball.
He knows balls.
Let's go to Chad Smith. What's your take on what's happening with the Pac-12?
I just hope I don't have to watch any more games at 11 p.m.
That I agree with. Like, Pac-12 after dark, like growing up on the East Coast, you don't even know about a lot of the Pac-12 teams. Like, I can remember when Mariota was on his tear with Oregon, a lot of people in the East Coast didn't know about it. Like, that's why Oregon paid all the money that they did to try to get the advertising. What?
This is crazy. Refined Zeus, he said, by the way, I'm a freshman in high school and have been saving up for this.
Refined. Oh, man.
Dude.
Bro, I want you to save your money, man. Like, obviously, we appreciate it. You went balls to the wall today. That's insane.
We're still giving you the MVP with Eduardo.
Refine, no matter what, man. We're gonna do something special for you on Thursday. We're gonna do something special for you on Thursday.
He said, "Chill, dude. I have a Roth IRA." Okay, man's making money moves already. Hey, freshman in high school.
He's doing the right thing.
A lot better than me.
He's doing the right thing.
I didn't have a credit card until 2 years ago.
There's some people in this office that don't have credit cards still. Imagine not having a credit card. It's wild to me.
But Refined, you're a freaking real one.
I mean, that's some legendary shit, man. That's some legendary shit, man. You're trending in the right direction.
You're on your P's and Q's, and we appreciate your support, man.
Absolutely. We really, really do. Yeah, Nico says credit. I'm with you. Redefine Zeus for MVP. That's some big baller stuff right there. Getting some love from John Borelli as well. 705 people watching. Keep those questions in. My take on what's happening with the Pac-12, I think the whole situation of all these conferences, I like the new college football setup. I'm also not going to try to sit up here and act like I know a lot about college football. I watch quarterbacks. I watch a few different groups.
Harry might have a good...
It's kind of crazy, though, when you see everything unfolding. Like, the fact that I just saw, I know it's not the Pac-12, SMU just say, we're not going to make any money from TV for 9 years and then only ticket sales. Like, that's insane to me.
Also, though, SMU's got the...
Sure, you're charging $65,000 per head to go there, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna have some money.
It is.
It's wild, though.
It's very wild.
It's wild.
And their boosters, as soon as that news came in,
here's a check. Here's a check.
This is actually a good question for Harry.
What's your take on the Pac-12?
Harry heads our college football department here at Chat Sports.
Harry heads a lot of stuff.
I didn't know that I had a title for it, but
Harry heads.
It's headless. It's a bummer it's ending because I actually think this year it's a really good conference.
Yeah.
Like
talent-wise.
I mean, think of the teams that are good. Oregon's good. USC's good. Oregon State's good. Washington's good. I don't know how good Colorado is, but they're certainly not bad. This 2 days ago they were. Washington State. Yeah, I mean, it sucks it's dissolving, so cherish these next 3 months because it's going to end pretty soon.
Do you think we'll end up having only 2 conferences?
No, the Big 12's in a pretty good spot. The SEC and the Big 10 are the clear top 2, but yeah, it'll be 3 or 4.
American, the next Power 5 conference.
Chugs.
Dude, what? I'm very impressed by Refined Zeus.
I'm very impressed with Refined Zeus as well.
$15K in investments, and he's got a high-yield Roth IRA.
Oh, man.
That's wild.
Here, Chugs, I need you to hold down the fort here real quick. I'm going to go take a pee, and then I'm going to show y'all what Eduardo Haro did because he extended the show for a little bit.
30 minutes, 5:30.
I'm going to go get a boot, and I'm going to go take a pee, and I'm here to party now with Eduardo Haro for balling out today. I mean, I'm telling you right now, shit's going to get weird.
Shit's actually fuller.
Shit's about to get weird here on the
hold
Raiders
hold
Report.
On 1 second.
Everybody spam Eduardo Haro. You got to be shitting me, man. You got to be absolutely shitting me right now, Eduardo Haro.
Is he?
Eduardo, you got to send me a message of what jersey you want. You got to send me one. You ready?
Go ahead.
Chugs, hold it down. Give me a few minutes.
Joe, the Angelis. Hey guys, what do you think if we go for Bosa off the dirty 49ers? I'm gonna give my best Vince McMahon impression. No chance. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. No chance in hell. I don't think there's any way the Niners trade Nick Bosa to the Raiders, and I don't think there's any way the Raiders trade for Nick Bosa, being that they already have Max Crosby on a high contract for an edge rusher. I don't know. I don't think there's a chance that happens personally. Kazar 42, would you trade Chandler for Chris Jones? I mean, I would. I would trade Chandler Jones for Chris Jones. Would the Chiefs trade us Chris Jones for Chandler Jones? No, they would not, because Chris Jones is a much better player than Chandler Jones. He is in his prime. He had 16 sacks last year. Chandler Jones had 4.5. Chris Jones had almost 4 times as many sacks as Chandler Jones did last year. You would have to give up Chandler Jones a first and maybe another pick just to make that work. And I don't even know if the Chiefs would want Chandler Jones in that deal. So it's a good idea, but I don't see it happening. Mount Raidermore member John Borelli, Rolly, get ready to drink. Get ready to drink. He said, Rolly, get ready. Did you message me the... Wait. Really? With 3? Wow. Okay. Hey, Refined, we're still gonna give you your props on Thursday as well. We're gonna give you your props on Thursday as well. Don't worry. Eduardo Haro, he says just have a great time. That's all. Oh, we're having a great time. Give it to Refined? Oh my God, Eduardo. Well, we're gonna do one for you, Eduardo. You want the other one to go to Refined? Is that what I'm hearing? If so, huge move, Eduardo. Great move. Is that what you want to do? Wow. Eduardo Haro. Let's freaking go. I think it goes to Refined. That's some legendary shit. Eduardo. We're gonna party here in a sec. Rebel, can you send me a list with names and jersey numbers so I can update the Silver and Black Hills profile? Also, go home, Marshall. Go home. Go home, Marshall. God, can't stand that guy. Jake, Sprinkle. If Chandler Jones goes by way of trade, who do you think is the best option for us to replace and improve the roster? Well, Jake, we actually broke that down earlier on the show. We're going to be putting that video out in a little bit, so stay tuned. Mitch broke down 5 replacements via free agency. Also, who's available on the practice squad, some guys that are familiar with the organization that the Raiders could sign. But I have some huge news. I have some huge news.
Start spamming spam right now Eduardo Haro
So,
because
He actually wants to give the other one to Refined.
okay, so one for him, one for Refined. Sounds good to me. Refined, let me know down in the comments what jersey you won here, courtesy of Eduardo Haro. And I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat this in any way possible, but shit is about to go down here on the Raiders Report because the Swans rolling in from Eduardo Haro. We're extending the show. Let's get weird. Here on the Raiders Report, I got 12 happy dads. Let's get rid of them.
Let's get wild.
Let's get rid of them.
Wild.
I got my happy dad boot here. Spam Eduardo Haro. I mean, I don't know what you guys do sometimes. It is effing insane.
Beer bong, Mitch.
Cheers to Harry. Cheers to Jeremy Jugs. Cheers to Eduardo. And Eduardo, like I said, he just bought y'all
Yes.
some extra
Yes.
time.
Yes.
Can I just chime in
Yes.
real quick? So,
Yes.
Mitch, an hour ago. I'm not going to be drinking on these Tuesday shows unless some weird shit happens. Shout out Eduardo.
Shout out for Eduardo for making weird shit happen. I got a fantasy football draft tonight. That was another reason why I was like, I can't go and just be sloshed.
It's the company one. We'll make do.
With I also got the last pick, 14 and
Mitch
15.
might take Aiden O'Connell in the 12th round. But,
14-team league. I'm taking Aiden O'Connell, number 14 overall.
cheers, buddy.
Can we do 15 teams? Cheers to Eduardo Haro for being a freaking legend, man.
Haro. 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 Let's go. Eduardo. 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 Eduardo.
Woo!
30 minutes on the clock.
30 minutes on the clock. Every one hundo we get. Not individual. If you're sending an individual, it's a guaranteed beer bong. Every one hundo we get from here on out, I'm doing a beer bong. Courtesy of Eduardo Haro, ma'am.
Let's get wild. Let's get wild.
Taino Raider, Mitch is in mid-season form. That's because y'all make me get ready. I have OTAs. I got mini camp. That's for me to get ready for the regular season as well. I mean, Eduardo, I don't know if you got social media, man.
Oh, yep. Eduardo and Refined. Hit me up on Twitter at Jeremy Chugs. Let me know. Got to give me 5 jersey numbers, whether you want it white or black, and what you want on the back. Though you only get 10 characters.
Correct.
So
just keep that in mind. I know. Eduardo sent me, which I've never seen before.
Or Eduardo, if you want to put it in the Venmo message, like message Mitch on Venmo, that might be easier for you. Refined, if you want to send me yours at Jeremy Chugs on Twitter, let's go.
He just labeled it as family. Eduardo, man, that's some legendary shit.
Somebody said Haro tattoo? Other kneecap.
I'll tell you what, my knee, I'm not, there's no way I'm putting anything else on my knee. That shit hurt. That was some wild shit, man.
Rebel, I will get back to you on this. I think me and Mitch need to actually
I
get
gotta
together
actually like sit down and go through the entire list because there's plenty of names on the Silver and Black Hills. There is Mount Raidermore. We'll do a better job.
Yeah, we got to get back with the Silver and Black Hills. And yeah, Rebel, if you want to make that graphic for us, that'd be dope.
I'm always down to get down, Rebel. I'm always can we respect Refined? He said, GG Haro, you deserve MVP.
Oh,
what a legend.
Let's see. Refined, you might have just added me.
Yeah?
Let's see.
I was going to say, if you guys got social media, hit up Jeremy. That way we can figure out what jersey. And Eduardo, just message me what you want. That'll be the easiest way to do it. But, yeah, we'll try to get an updated list here. Now, I don't want these minutes to go wasted. So let's get some questions flowing here. Show Eduardo Haro some love here. And let's get some hashtag Raiders or Super Chats. Get those questions, comments on the show right now. I want to get wild here. I want to get some questions flowing. Let's get it going.
John Scheffler.
Eduardo, also, if you could, message me on Venmo. Maybe a special deal that you want to go down on Thursday night?
Alex, Refined, I just followed you back. Maybe that will work for messaging. Let's see.
We'll see. Scheffler, now it's going to be a total shit show. With the first pick, I draft Jamarcus Russell. That's going to be Mitch when he's drunk. I mean, I'm okay right now. I'm okay right now. Rebel says need a tuna clock. Let's go. Tuna clock going right now. Bye-bye.
F-Sam,
F-Sam, F-Sam, F-Sam. F-Sam, F-Sam. Tuna clock.
Engaged.
All right, here we go. It's going to be $10 shot clock.
For 1 minute.
For 1 minute. Starting jetzt, which is German for now. Josh Melton, Haro tattoo. I love Haro. In order for me to get a Haro tattoo, and I'd honestly, if I did it, I'd put it on the other side of my tree right here next to Ron. Just because Ron's done so much stuff for this channel, Haro would have to send in a 10K Venmo.
Refined.
It's the only way I'm doing it.
Refined said black.
Haro said no tattoo.
Black, either 16, 17, 20, 25, or 99, and just Zeus on the back. What number is Zamir?
Zeus? Did he change his number? See, I know 16's taken, though. 35 for Zeus. See, 16's one of Raider Ron's jerseys. Also, time's up. John Scheffler, Rebel Montana. 2 shots for the tuna clock. All right, Eric. We'll count it. We'll count it. But no more, though. That's it, though. That's 3 shots. 1 for Chef. 1 for Rebel. I told my dad I'm not drinking today. He's going to be so disappointed when he watches the show later. And 1 for Eric. Rustin Long. All right, we'll count it. We'll count it. But that's it, though. No more after Rustin. $10 fireball shots. That's it. No more after Justin. Robert's keeping track. Love Raider Nation. Raider Nation for life. Real one for life. Great way to start the season from Rustin. Y'all are wild.
Last one.
That's it. No more. No more. No more. Rebel. Nah. He live now. Yeah, we're live. Did my son Marshall go home yet? Borelli said, nah. We still live. We still live. Oh, boy.
We lit.
We lit. We lit. We lit. I got to ask Trace. I gave Trace's girlfriend, friend that's a girl, I don't know, gave me a ride home from the bar on Saturday.
Yeah, she did.
I gave him $10. Said, hey, go get some coffee in the morning. I wonder if Trace just pocketed that shit. I can see Trace doing that. Trace is like, bro, I crushed some breakfast from McDonald's the next morning. Borelli, y'all are lit. I'm good, man. I feel great. I feel great right now.
We're having a great time.
Great time. 20 minutes left here of live. Eduardo Haro came. He saw. He conquered. Jen, I wish, but I can't, man. I wish, but I can't. Not on YouTube.
We have the bong, though.
We do. We do. And we have a whole bunch of Happy Dads. If you don't know what a Happy Dad is, it is the perfect thing to chug Especially like tailgating, get yourself some Happy Dads. Get yourself some Happy Dads. Stay hydrated, a lot of electrolytes, and you're doing good, man. And you're doing good. What's up? What's up? All right, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. Chugs, give me a weigh in here. Give me a weigh in. Give me something that we can talk about.
Gimme something to
Adam
talk
Sweeney,
about.
what's the alcohol percentage? 5%. Oh my goodness. This is kind of crazy. Got some news here around the Raiders. The Raiders have just restructured Jimmy Garoppolo's contract, creating $17 million in cap space.
Mike Evans is a Raider.
That's got to be something.
Mike Evans is a Raider.
What?
Holy crap.
What is about to happen? I mean, this is huge. I want to see the void years, but Jimmy Garoppolo's contract just got restructured. They just created $17 million for this year. Like, for you to create $17 million, something's about to happen. Right? Right? Like, something's going to happen. I don't know what, but
Dude,
something.
Mike Evans, you are a Raider. Bro, if we called that, insane.
We push out the video now. That Mike Evans thing would be crazy. I agree with that. I don't know what they would do. I just don't think it would be for Mike Evans. Like 17 mil. What type of players? Like there's not a single free agent out there that commands that type of salary. Unless the Raiders feel like they're going to go out and try to make a trade. I don't know.
Let me know.
They just created $17 million in salary cap space. Joe says Mike Evans. I don't know. What? You're gonna roll it over. I'm hoping that it translates to something big.
What do you think?
What are they gonna do with the extra Jimmy G money? Because the Raiders just created $17 million in cap space. Josh Melton said, drink up, fellas. You know what? That did just help us cross 1.3.
Who's got Josh's back?
Who's got Josh's back?
That's a half a beer bong right there.
Half a beer bong.
Wait, do you want the... Oh, never mind.
I mean, if you want to go give me the Murbanga.
Yeah. That's half a beer bong.
Half a beer bong right now for Josh Melton. What are they going to do with the extra Jimmy G money? The Raiders just restructured Jimmy Garoppolo's contract and now have freed up $17 million. They just freed up $17 million. It's got to be something. It's got to be something. I wonder if they have like the exact updated numbers on over the cap. I'm going to look real quick here, so just give me a second. I mean, something's going to happen to me. Like, you don't move 17 mil. All right, here we go. Yeah, see, they still, to me, they haven't updated it yet on over the cap. So his original cap number was going to be $23.8 million. Take away 17 mil of that.
Chris Jones trade?
No. I mean, that would be nuts.
Nick Bosa?
That would be nuts.
Keep it away from Sam.
What are they going to do with the money? Are they going to go out and sign a player? They're going to go trade for a guy? Who's got Josh's back? And Jeremy keeps asking because every time we get to a hundo, we do a full beer bong. I can drink this one right now, which it's a lot easier like this. Let's get loud. Let's get loud. I'm ready. I'm ready. Use it wisely from Adam. I mean, dude, what's going to happen here? That would be interesting. I mean, he's an old Rob Leonard guy.
Christian Wilkins?
He's an old Rob Leonard guy.
Aaron Donald?
I would say Christian Wilkins is a lot more likely because of his past connections with Rob Leonard. Rob Leonard was a defensive line coach down in Miami.
Aaron said possibly Buda Baker?
But I would be excited about a move for Buda Baker. But, like, it's not a I still want to have faith in Trevon Merrick. I still want to have faith. Marcus Epps is a team captain. I mean, it would be a hell of a secondary to go about that route. I think a big move might be coming. I don't know when. I don't know how. But for Chandler Jones drama to happen, and now they just moved around $17 million, freed that money up for, I mean, it's not just one, not just two. Like, it's 17 mil. Like, there's a reason it's that much. What's the reason? I don't know.
Sponsoring the Raiders report? Maybe they heard that Josh Melton sent in 50 and they were trying to have his back.
They heard Eduardo was balling. I'll tell you what. I just did all those shots and those 4 beers. I'm feeling it a little bit right now.
$2 million. We do our watch parties at Allegiant.
Bro, I'm telling you right now, like, if somebody were to tell me, Mitch, like, what are you and Chugs hopeful for in 5 years? Imagine doing watch parties at Allegiant Stadium. Holy shit. I mean, that's electric. Can't beat it.
50-yard line. Oh! Boot! You just see Rebel in the crowd like, yeah!
I just saw somebody say, how much is Jimmy Garoppolo going to earn then? So, again, this is just based off of over the cap. He would have earned 23.8. I'm guessing you take away 17 mil from this season. Like,
there has to be another move because I heard in the background somebody not very smart with the Raiders said it's going to roll over. They're using it to roll over.
and they have a lot of dead money, so like maybe they decide to do that, but I don't see why, because this now is the third time they have restructured Garoppolo's contract. If it was the first time, I think that's different. For the third time, and for it to be that much money,
that's
I don't know what's going to happen here. It's going to be interesting. That's all I know. All right, continue to get those hashtag Raiders super chats down in the comments, and we're going to keep on answering some questions. We're going to stay live here for a little bit longer because Haro sent in a insane Venmo, and we're here to party on today's show now. I know I said earlier I wouldn't drink, but now we're drinking because Haro F some shit up. What up, diehard Raider fan? With clearing up that much salary cap, what free agent do you think that the Raiders can get to help our team reach the playoffs and a Super Bowl run? I mean, that's the problem is, it's, to me, 17 mil doesn't go to a free agent. Like, there's not a free agent out there. The top free agents right now, I'd say Kyle Van Noy, for the Raiders, that is. Like, there's not a lot of Melvin Ingram, Carlos Dunlap from an edge perspective if you're nervous about Chandler Jones. Deron Harmon would be an interesting name. He's not going to cost a lot of money. Dalton Reisner's out there. Yeah, I mean, it's nobody in free agency. For you to clear 17 mil, that's a trade.
So one of your comments on Twitter right now at Mitchell Renz 365, Mitch tweeted it out. What's going to happen now with the story of Jimmy G's contract restructure? Brian Burns upset in Carolina. Maybe trade him. Get rid of Chandler Jones. That's why they don't want him in the facility, because they're about to get rid of Chandler Jones. Bringing in Brian Burns. You have him, Max Crosby on one side, and then Tyree Wilson at the 3-tech.
Holy shit. I mean, there's connections there. Jason Simmons used to be the defensive backs coach in Carolina. He's now with the Raiders. I'm telling you right now, if Brian Burns gets dealt here to the Raiders.
What number is he? He's 45.
All right, hang on. Is he? Hang on, let's look. Brian Burns. He might be number 0.
We're going live.
We won't go live at all.
For 0 hours.
Dude.
No, before this year, he was not number 0. He was number like 40 something.
Was he?
Yes.
Brian Burns, 53.
Okay.
If Brian Burns gets traded to the Raiders, we're going live for 5.3 hours. Oh, man. Dude, that would be electric.
That would be insane.
17 mil, Brian Burns. You just say, all right, F it, we're getting rid of Chandler Jones. Dude, sign me up for that in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. What up, Tony? For Jimmy G to give up that money, is he hurt? Got to be a reason to give up 17 mil. No, I don't think he's hurt because remember, the first time the Raiders gave Garoppolo a contract, then they restructured it again. Now they have a out clause, which means if he's hurt, then the Raiders can actually get out of that contract and then just move on.
People are loving the idea of Aaron Donald in the chat.
I just don't see how Aaron Donald, like why the Rams are going to do that. Plus, it's going to cost a lot more to get Donald. Donald's making $32 million this year.
Well,
like I don't see that.
The rumors are the Rams are headed for a full-blown rebuild.
Sure. To me, the two names for 17 mil that make the most sense, the Brian Burns one is interesting as hell. I'll also say Chase Young is an intriguing name to me. A lot of turmoil going on in Washington. And this is the part of the year where, certain players that are unhappy, like this is when shit starts going down.
What did we say just maybe 3 or 4 days ago? It was the, 5-year reunion?
Of AB?
No.
Oh.
Of Khalil Mack.
Oh, yeah, that was a few days ago.
And that was done.
Today's 4 years ago for the AB crazy shit.
That deal was done the week before game 1 of the regular season.
Dude.
Could we see a trade done the week of week 1?
You know what?
With the Raiders.
I'm going to make a quick video here. I'm going to put this shit on IG.
Do it.
I'm going to make just give me a sec here, everyone. I also realize that I actually have to film it. So, all right, Chugs. The Las Vegas Raiders just restructured Jimmy Garoppolo's contract to free up $17 million. My question is, what are we going to do with that $17 million? Interact with us live here on the Raiders Report because Jeremy and I are freaking the hell out. What are they going to do with the $17 million? Jeremy, I don't know.
Brian Burns?
All right.
I feel like, have you ever seen Monsters, Inc.? Whenever Mike Wazowski's like, I'm in it.
Oh, Mike Wazowski.
I can't believe.
Dude,
I was on TV.
What are the Raiders? The Raiders gonna do with the extra
What are the Raiders gonna do?
$17 million saved by restructuring
So you're telling me the Raiders
Jimmy
saved
Garoppolo's contract?
17 mil? You think that's impressive?
I do.
Refined Zeus has saved $15K in a Roth IRA.
Oh man. What are they gonna do?
Pay Chugs with the extra cash. I'd be down for that.
Yeah.
I would take the league minimum. I would.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. For $400,000 contract, I'd take it.
I bet you would. And honestly, I wouldn't blame you. I wouldn't blame you at all. All right, I'm going to tag Jeremy here real quick.
One of our MVPs said, Eduardo Haro, he said, I think Chandler, by the way, he was flipping out. He was in the out of the office. Maybe he hasn't been around the office to know what's going on. Maybe attendance issue. Refine says league minimum is $800K. Deal.
Oh, dude, I'm in there like swimwear. In there like swimwear for $500K, $800K, whatever it was. In there. I also tagged you on that.
On tweet?
On the tweet. Brian Burns? I don't know. That would be electric. I'm all aboard this hype train. Also, Jeremy, because the audience is still kind of going on and because Eduardo, I know we said 5:30. Don't hate me. I do want to go until 6, and then we're getting out of here. But if we would not have gotten this new information around Garoppolo, we were going to head out at 5:30. So I just want you all to know, shout out to Eduardo Haro, shout out to Refined Zeus, shout out to Brandon Jasper for extending this show today. And remember, I don't usually drink on Tuesdays, but I'm here to get weird today now. I mean, I'm all in. Well, let's go to Lance Delgado. You're good. What up, Lance? How many total sacks this year for the D? My number's 45. That's the number that I'm hoping for, right? Like, I think at the end of the day, you want your defense to be able to get after the quarterback. And if you have some of these big-name players out there, I'm hoping for 45. But what do you guys think? How many sacks this season? How many sacks this season for the Silver and Black? Let me know down below. What are you thinking here? Slow today, the Raiders were going to be $7 million over. They need to get under. Now they have $10 million out of the cap. 10 mil. Let's make it happen. Let's make something happen today. I'm ready. I'm freaking ready to see something go down. Taino says 69. Raider Gaines, need more details as to why Chandler was tripping. Oh, man. How much time you got? Maybe. Probably not, but maybe at the same time. Let's go. Hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. Get those questions, comments on the show. How many sacks on Russell Wilson this Sunday? The lingo in that makes me giggle a little bit. How many sacks on Russell Wilson this Sunday versus the Broncos? I'm going to set it. I'm going to go 4. I see Robert Jansen said 4. Mikey said 4. Let's go 4. Let's go 4. I'm down for that. Also, every one hundo we get doing a beer bong here on the Raiders Report. Eduardo Haro sent in a $1,000 Venmo to extend the show, and that's why we're going live today until 6 o'clock. I do have a fantasy football draft later, chat sports draft, but I might just might get a little bit weird for it. I was gonna go home. I'll probably text Alex and say probably not gonna come home now. Might just hang out with Trizzy Trace. We'll see though. I don't know. You should go pick up your car. You should absolutely go pick up your car. You should go pick up your car. I'll be at your place then. Yeah, I'll probably be over then. Yep. Ooh, in your car that just got fixed? Let's do it. Let's do it. I like it. We got 750 people watching, yet only 527 likes. Hit that like button. Let's go to Raider Gaines. Need more details as to why Chandler was tripping. All right, I'm going to do my best here. Short story. You ready? Chandler Jones went in to work out today at the Raiders facility, was unable to get in. Tried to contact Josh McDaniels, tried to contact Dave Ziegler. Neither person answered. Then he was upset. He had to go work out at a public gym. Then he went to social media and said, I don't want to play for the Raiders with head coaches and GMs that essentially don't answer his call. He was upset at the fact that he has 112 sacks for his career. He wanted more respect because a guy with 112 NFL sacks shouldn't have to work out at a public gym. Then, on top of that, went to social media, started tweeting all this stuff, said he's got to talk to Antonio Brown, said he's got to talk to Alden Smith. Not a pretty situation. 20 hours before that, he bought McDaniels and Ziegler Tom Ford sunglasses. I don't know. This is a weird situation, but for this to happen, and then you also have the idea that the Raiders now Just freed up $17 million with Garoppolo. I'm like, what is about to go down? Something has to go down. And if you're under the age of 18, you're going to see some lingo on here. So just be on the lookout for it. That's all I'm saying. Be on the lookout for it. We're posting exactly what Chandler Jones had on IG. He has since deleted it. I don't, like, what happened here? I don't know the answer. And I see some people saying, maybe it's a mental illness, and it could be. I don't know. And I don't want to speak on behalf of anything that I don't have all the information for. But the situation is a weird situation, and I don't know if he had a panic attack. I don't know what's going on. But, man, nuts. What up, Sugar Wolf? The Raiders caught Jones doing PEDs. I hope not. What is this? Yeah, that's the picture. What? It's wild, right? Bought him Tom Ford sunglasses 20 hours later saying he doesn't want to play for the Raiders. It's a weird situation, man. I mean, I hope not. I mean, then he'd be getting suspended, but I'm not going to speak on this. Also, the Cardinals said that they do expect Kyler Murray to play in 2023. Didn't say that he will, said that they expect him. I don't think Kyler Murray plays this season. I think Arizona's trying to be so bad that he doesn't play. Caleb Williams season. All right, Jeremy, if you could, can you get the clock up for me? 30 minutes. Let's count it down. After 30 minutes, Jeremy Chuggs and I are getting out of here for the day. Yeah, I can't figure out what it was. I saw some people saying maybe he took too much pre-workout. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've taken some Panda Sups pre-workout, and I'm, like, ready to go. Alex said Nick Bosa wants $17 million. Nick Bosa wants more than Aaron Donald, I feel like. I think Bosa wants in the $30 million range. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there. I felt like it sometimes, but I don't think I've ever actually said it. We got 850 people live here on the Raiders Report. We're going to stay live for another 30 minutes on the show, so please use those hashtag Raiders to get those questions on the show. I see Joe says, do you think, Mitch, it's D or is it an offensive player? I don't know if the Raiders are going to do anything with the money that they saved. So I'm looking right now what the Raiders' salary cap situation was. And from what I'm looking at here, it looked like the Raiders were in the hole. Yeah, they were about $7 million in the hole. So now they restructured, freeing up $17 million, which means now they're going to be sitting somewhere around $10 million in salary cap space. That's according to Spotrac and Over the Cap. So both are right. Both have the Raiders now sitting at somewhere at about $10 million in salary cap space. Raider X, correct. So you free up 17, you're 7 over, now you're at 10. End of the live show in 27 minutes. Super chat rolling in here from Mixed by Navid. Hunter Renfrow and Chandler Jones for Chris Jones. Not even close.
And it's not even close. Yeah, I was just saying.
Chiefs aren't, no way.
Chris Jones, 16 sacks last year.
Yeah.
Chandler Jones, 4.5.
But it's 16 at defensive tackle. The value of that, like 16 at defensive tackle compared to 16 at edge, defensive tackle's up here where edge is down here. Like, Jones's ability, it was very impressive.
Also, Tyler,
would you do Chandler Jones a 5th and a 2nd for Chris Jones or Nick Bosa? I mean, in a heartbeat.
They would not.
They would not. If it was Chandler Jones a 5th and a 2nd, you'd also have to throw in a first-round pick for Chris Jones or Nick Bosa. Like, even for the 49ers, they would still probably ask for 2 first-round picks, Chandler Jones a 5th and a 2nd, and I still don't even know if that's enough for Nick Bosa. Let's go to Brian Darr. Happy birthday to this legend, me. Get a pick. Happy birthday to Brian Darr. Get those HBDs in the chat.
Happy Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Brian Darr. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Brian Darr. Let's go to Lance Delgado. If Jimmy struggles early, when would you put in Aiden O'Connell? Like, I've had this question asked to me a lot. If the Raiders believe that they're actually trying to go to the playoffs, if Garoppolo's bad in those first 3 games, that's where I pull the plug. If the Raiders are 0-3 and Jimmy G looks bad, you pull the plug after week 3, you put in Aiden O'Connell. Only if you're actually trying to win games. However, if you're not trying to win football games, I don't put Aiden in at all. That's not me. I'm saying that's what I would do if I was thinking like McDaniels and Ziegler. I would give him 3 games. And then we see what happens. To me, like O'Connell, I do think he can go out there and he can play. But the Raiders also don't want to put O'Connell in a situation where he's not 100% ready, / they don't want to, what's a good way to put it? This is an organization that believes to me that O'Connell is a QB that needs to learn for an entire year. That's why Brian Hoyer is on this team. They don't want to throw away everything that they feel like that they've already accomplished with O'Connell by rushing him back too quickly. It really comes down to whether or not the Raiders believe that they are going to actually try to win football games this season. Let's go to Julian.
So,
What up?
I am seeing stuff on Twitter that in Foxborough, whenever he was a Patriot, there was an incident where Chandler
in trouble.
Jones took drugs
Yep.
that messed him up.
Yes,
And
it's true.
he ended up in front of a police station praying and kneeling in the parking lot.
It's true.
I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but
No, I don't know what the whole Chandler Jones situation is. You got to hope that that's not what happened today. Because if that's the case, then you got a whole nother issue here going on with Chandler. And to be honest with you, people have said that to me in the past because he's lost so much weight. But I don't want to sit up here and speculate, is Chandler Jones doing drugs again? Like, I don't want to do that. Julian, who is going to be the Week 1 overall MVP, offensive MVP, and defensive MVP? All right, I'm going to say the offensive MVP is going to be Josh Jacobs because he has dominated the Broncos. Defensive MVP, it's lame to say, but it's going to be Max Crosby. I'm going to bet on Max Crosby to be the Raiders' defensive MVP every single game. And if you don't bet on Max Crosby to be the Raiders' defensive MVP every game,
give me Robert Spillane.
yeah? Oh, man. Oh, I don't know. I'm saying from a betting perspective, you bet on Crosby every time. You should bet on Crosby every time. Mr. Robert Jansen.
Rabbit.
Did they do this with Jimmy Garoppolo's contract to get D and offensive line help and truly shift into win now mode? We don't have the answers. It's been reported that the Raiders, again, they were $7 million in the hole. Okay? $17 million has now been created, which means the Raiders are somewhere around $10 million in salary cap space. I do not know if that means they're going to go out and add anybody. Maybe they just did it to create some salary cap space. I don't have the answers. It's a weird thing to do, though, to create that much space with your quarterback on a day that this shit just went down with Chandler Jones. It's a lot of weird stuff adding up. Let's go to Ecliptic. What's Tyree Wilson's status at this point? He's going to play this week up against the Broncos. From what I have been told, he's going to be on a pitch count. So I'm going to sit here and say he's probably going to play, man, snaps-wise, let's go with 30 snaps. 30 snaps for Tyree Wilson. They're going to use him. What's really going to be interesting, though, is how much of a pitch count is he on if Chandler Jones doesn't play? Because if Chandler Jones doesn't play, like, to me, if I'm a head coach and general manager, there's no way I am putting Chandler Jones on a field until we sit down and talk. Because there's disagreements, that's fine. Jeremy and I have disagreements all the time. That's part of working together. If you don't have disagreements with people that you work with, you're not working hard enough. That's a God-honest truth. But guess what? We sit down, we figure it out. I'm sure you have arguments all the time with people that you care about, but you got to sit down and figure it out. What you can't do is sweep it underneath the rug and then just let them go out there and play on Sunday. Like, that doesn't set up a good recipe for success to me. That also doesn't teach some of these younger guys of what type of culture that you're trying to build here. So, I think the Tyree Wilson status of how much he plays has more to do with Chandler Jones than actually Tyree Wilson. All right, what do you guys think here? Will Chandler Jones the man to trade? Yes or no? Got 900 people in the building. What do you think?
Now I'm leaning no.
Now you don't think?
Now,
Okay.
now that he's taking this stuff down, and now, like, if the Instagram story was still up,
Yep.
then yes. But obviously something happened. He took it down. He didn't want it to be up anymore.
I see Diaz said Jones unfollowed the majority of the Raiders squad. He still follows the Raiders, though.
I think maybe there was some disagreement and he just went off the rails.
I mean, let me go here to Chandler Jones's Instagram.
He blocked me.
Dude, that'd be legendary. Honestly, I wouldn't be mad about it. Hang on, let's see. Oh, wow, shit.
Did he block you?
No,
Oh, good.
but I just checked. Chandler Jones has unfollowed the Raiders on Instagram.
Wow.
Chandler Jones has. I don't know if something's going on here.
Are you shitting me?
It's a weird situation, though. I mean, I checked early this morning. Like, one of the very first things that I checked was, does Chandler Jones follow the Raiders on Instagram still? And that answer was yes. Now, he does not. I don't like these type of games. Like, these type of games kind of get old to me. Where this is some petty-ass bullshit, and now he has unfollowed the Raiders on Instagram. When I checked this morning, he followed. Now he does not. I mean, do you think that's anything or no?
No, I don't think it is. We've seen it so many times. This is like the pettiest of petty moves that
It's so petty.
usually never ends up being any reason, like, or any tangible thing. I feel like, I don't know. It's a step in the wrong direction, but
I just think it's dumb.
yeah.
It's dumb. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe I'm like overthinking this a little bit because of what Jimmy G just had done, and I'm like,
The Raiders social media guy for the team goes to tag Chandler Jones in a photo, and it's like, this player cannot be tagged.
I mean, maybe. Maybe that's the case.
Maybe he's doing this because he's embarrassed.
Unfollows the Raiders because you're embarrassed?
Like, he's unfollowing, getting everything off because he doesn't want any more social media anything.
I mean, he still follows Jermaine Illuminor. He still follows Marcus Epps. Darian Butler, that's a Raider. After that, though, there's like,
Shit's actually wild.
I mean, he doesn't follow Max Crosby anymore.
That's kind of weird.
Like, that's worrisome to me. Like, why would you
Well, coming in
unfollow Max Crosby?
just as you're saying that, cast Joey.
Yeah, I mean, he literally doesn't follow Max Crosby anymore. I'm going to tweet that out as well. He doesn't follow Max Crosby anymore.
Couple
Dude,
messages coming in. Josh, Do you think they tried to restructure Jones's contract and that's why he got pissed?
They've already restructured on it. They've already restructured Chandler Jones's contract. It's already been done. It's already been done.
Yeah. Shit's kind of weird. Anthony said, would we owe Chandler any money if we released him?
Yes. The exact number, give me 1 second here. Because of the Raiders, they added void years. So if the Raiders were to cut Chandler Jones in 2023, they would eat $14 million. Or $13.3 million is what they would eat. It's not quite 10. It's a lot of money, though.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, they would eat
This
13.
whole situation is just wild.
Yeah, it is a really, really, really weird situation. He unfollowed the Raiders, and now he doesn't follow Max Crosby anymore either. Like, to me, I know Chandler and Crosby were good, and I could understand Chandler's probably, when that whole thing happened this morning, if I'm Max Crosby, I'm picking up my phone and I'm calling Chandler Jones. Like, you're the face of the franchise. It's not Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not Devontae Adams. It's not Josh Jacobs. The face of the Raiders franchise is Max Crosby.
Bye, man.
Petty ass BS. What in the... Yeah, again, I don't want to speculate on anything. It's unfortunate that it has come to this point, but this is a huge distraction. Why are we talking about this a few days before the Raiders are getting ready to play the Denver Broncos? It shouldn't be Raiders against the Raiders. It should be, plain and simple, us getting ready to go up against the Denver Broncos. The Raiders practice tomorrow, and they practice Thursday and Friday.
Palak Gupta.
I don't know. Mitch, you have a perspective from Jones' POV. What if Jones was on the fault? What if it was on his Instagram meltdown? We only know one side of the story. I mean, the Raiders are also partly responsible, right? Like, I said it, both sides of it. The Raiders, the part where I think that the Raiders really did a bad job here is they contacted Chandler Jones's ex-girlfriend, who he hasn't dated for over 5-6 years from what is I understand. Like, they would try to get a hold of Chandler Jones, and then they couldn't get a hold of him, so then they went to somebody that they had a previous relationship with when Chandler Jones was a member of the New England Patriots. Like, that I don't like. If that comes out to be true, that looks bad, because that's what Chandler posted on his Instagram story. Top to bottom, though, this is not a good situation. Gabriel, do you think Tyree Wilson has anything to do with Chandler wanting to leave? I mean, it's not new. You know what I mean? Like, it's not anything new. The Raiders drafted Tyree Wilson. Chandler Jones restructured his contract. Like, if there would have been an issue, you would have heard about the issue before. A player's not going to restructure his contract unless he's on board. Like, if Chandler would have said, no, I'm not restructuring my contract, we would have had that issue a long time ago. The fact that it's just today, it's weird. The whole thing is freaking weird, man.
I mean,
it is. The whole situation is a weird, weird situation. Also, I said this, every time we get to 100, I'm doing a beer bong, which right now we just crossed another 100. Shout out to my guy, Haro, man. Eduardo Haro. I said I wasn't drinking today, and he wanted me to drink today. If the Raiders do end up trading Chandler Jones, Jugs, break down this list real quick. I owe you guys a beer bong.
These are the top 5 free agent edges that are available if the Raiders release, trade Chandler Jones in some form or fashion. These are the guys who could be signed and step in right away. Kyle Van Noy, who's been mentioned a ton. He's a kind of versatile Swiss Army knife, linebacker, edge combo. Melvin Ingram, more of your, traditional edge rusher. Carlos Dunlap, a bigger guy, can play inside and outside, that 3 technique and on the edge. Robert Quinn, who signed by the Eagles or traded for by the Eagles late last year, got hurt, came back. He's been, having a great year, down year. Great year, down year. Maybe that's a signing the Raiders make. Jason Pierre-Paul, I'd give that signing 7 fingers up. Could be another option.
Dude, this is weird. I feel like I've said, dude, this is weird, more than I heard, dude, where's my car? In the movie, dude, where's my car?
Yeah.
I will say this, though. If anything does end up happening tonight, we're going to go live here on the Raiders Report. Like, if it's like big-time breaking news, I can guarantee you this. We'll go live on the Raiders Report, so make sure you got that subscribe button clicked. Make sure you got that notification bell tickled, because it's going to be one wild ride here. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think, man.
Dude, you're pretty wild.
Oh, dude. This is interesting.
Make sure you got those noties turned on.
The beat reporters are just saying it was to help get the Raiders underneath the cap. But why 17 mil then? Like, again, I don't trust any of the beat reporters because I don't really think they have a lot of good information, but that's what they're reporting, that it's just to get them underneath the salary cap.
Nothing to see here.
Nothing to see here. To move 17 million around, though, there's a reason. I'm telling you that right now. There's got to be a reason why they're doing this. Whew, boy, how much would we save if we trade him? You don't say. If the Raiders trade Chandler Jones, that's good question. If the Raiders were to trade Chandler Jones this season, you would save $10.6 million. They would eat 3.6. Also, on top of that, if the Raiders trade away Chandler Jones, they would end up eating, if my math is mathing correctly here, 3.6 in 2025, 3.6 in 2026, and then 1.3 in 2027. Because they already restructured Chandler Jones' contract, so those are the void years. If my math serves me correctly, those are your void years.
For this season, what are the chances Chandler Jones doesn't play for Las Vegas?
Also, the show will end here in 8 minutes, so if you have any questions or comments, let's get it going right now. What are the chances Chandler Jones doesn't play for the Raiders? To be honest with you, the fact that he unfollowed the Raiders, I don't like. The fact that he unfollowed Max Crosby, that's some petty-ass bullshit. Like, I'm telling you right now, that's a lame-ass move. It is. No doubt about it. Lame move. Dude.
What are you putting out?
What are the chances Chandler Jones doesn't play for the Raiders? I'll still say 10%.
That low?
I just think, based off of what happened today, this is me taking an educated guess. Chandler Jones starts going off on IG. Max Crosby sees what happens. Max tries to call Chandler to calm him down. Chandler's upset, gets angry at Max, unfollows Max, unfollows the Raiders, unfollows a bunch of Raiders players, and now we're in this situation right now. I think it has a lot more to do with anger than anything else.
Do you think do you think this has anything to do with the pressure he's feeling of down year last year? He has to step it up this year. Got a big deal with the Raiders. You know, got brought in to be that second edge rusher, and he's not performing up to that par. Maybe he's a little jealous of Tyree Wilson at the same time. You think that might have anything to do with it, the stress level of, you know, this is the year he has to perform?
I mean, he's got to be feeling pressure, right? Like, the moment that the Raiders drafted Tyree Wilson, the pressure cooker's on. The pressure cooker's on. But the NFL also, though, it's not a what you did for me previously. It is a what have you done for me lately type league. And Chandler Jones got to be able to look himself in the mirror and be like, the Raiders gave me a 3-year, $54 million contract, and I had 4.5 sacks last season. Like, we didn't call Chandler Jones, where's Chandler? Where's Waldo? For just because we felt like it.
I mean, maybe he feels the walls closing in. Maybe he sees the writing on the wall of, you know, I'm about to be replaced. This is my last year. Maybe that mixed with, you know, you never know.
Somebody said maybe he was told that he wasn't starting, but that's still not where the whole conversation started. He couldn't get into the facility today. That's where it started. He couldn't get into the facility today and threw a temper tantrum. Now, it's also on McDaniels and Ziegler because they contacted his ex, which that's not the right move.
Do you think he was trying to get into the facility to confront somebody, and they blocked him out?
That could be something.
Maybe
It's still weird, though, because
maybe he wanted to get in, say something face-to-face to somebody, and they said, hey, he seems kind of angry right now. We should just keep him out of the facility for today so nothing bad happens.
maybe. But then why is he 20 hours before then buying gifts for McDaniels and Ziegler?
Maybe to make up for something he did.
It's weird, man. It's weird.
I don't know.
What up, Triven? $5 million for Amir and
We're
$5
not
million for
worthy.
Brandon. No worries.
We're not worthy.
You're probably right. You know what? We're going to give Amir Abdullah a $5 million raise. We're going to give Brandon Bolden a $5 million raise. Shout out to Mount Raidermore legend, Driven. We got over 1,000 people watching the Raiders Report right now.
Up.
Huh?
That jumped up.
It has jumped up. I mean, the amount of people that are starting to look right now for the content.
Somebody said the Rick James skit on
Dude, this is wild.
the Rick James skit on Dave Chappelle.
Raider Gaines, I heard that the facility was damaged and was closed. I don't have the answer to that. I mean, I'm telling you right now, I've been texting with a whole bunch of people all day today trying to get an update on Chandler Jones, and it has been crickets. Nothing. It's weird. The whole situation is weird. Let's go to Dwayne Jackson. Do you guys see any resolution between Disney and Charter Communications before NFL Week 1, especially with local carriers blacked out with college football, Monday Night Football?
Danny's parents,
I don't know.
Danny's dad was pissed.
They should
'cause
be.
He has Charter,
They should be.
and he couldn't watch the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
It's dumb. It's really dumb. It's pettiness at the top, and it always seems like that. Pettiness at the top, and it doesn't affect them. It affects the people beneath them.
Sure. Which, it does suck. All I know is, though, because of this issue here is why we go live on game day. Like,
Yeah.
we're going to be live. We're going to be doing a watch party. We're going to try to bring you the fun, the entertainment, everything that you need to know. We're bringing you that action.
We have people from across the world that tune into our watch parties because for this same reason they can't get it other ways. I know Martin over in England. I know other people across the world who watch our watch parties to get that information, to know what's going on, because it's not always accessible to everybody. We want to make sure no matter what, we want to give you a free platform where you know what's going on with the Las Vegas Raiders.
We got you covered here. All right, y'all, we got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to end this live show. Chugs, if I offer another deal, are you down? How much time do you have left? Or you're like, I got to go?
For the right price, I can add 15 minutes to the clock.
Okay. Here's what we're going to do. Instead of me drinking, I see some people down there saying, we want more time, we want more time. Here's what we're going to do. Every $100 that we get until the end of the live show clicks, every $100 we get, I'll add 5 minutes. And I'll do a beer bong. So if we get more, we'll keep it going. Every $100 is an extra 5 minutes alive, plus I'm doing a beer bong. If not, Jeremy and I do got to get going. I do have a fantasy football draft tonight. That
I actually have I'm only playing in one league this year.
That's it.
Only one league. I'm not in this league. One, because it's already kind of packed.
Sure.
Two, because I told myself I'm doing a pick'em and I'm doing my league,
Yep.
and I'm gonna try to win those. Because every year I get around this time and I'm
Yep.
in 3-4 leagues, and all my leagues go to shit because I forget. I forget what's going on in my different teams.
Yep.
So I'm doing one fantasy team. I'm doing one pick'em this year. Maybe I do two with the
Honestly,
homies that
that's the
listen.
best way to do it because I'm with you. Like, I feel bad when I can't offer my full attention to something.
Yes.
I do my fantasy football league in my family. It's our 17th year, and, like, that's where all my attention goes. Like, the fact that I'm doing this one at work, I already know what's going to happen. I'm going to half-ass it. If I get close to making the playoffs, I'll put some time into it, and then, like, that'll be it.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
I just don't quite have the time to be able to.
So
keep it going.
That's why I'm like, I'm going to do one league, and that's it for me. Are y'all doing it on ESPN here?
It's going to be on SleeperBot.
Mm.
So I'm actually good friends with the guys over at SleeperBot. So back when I used to do fantasy football, this is long, long time ago, before I started working here, SleeperBot used to pay me to join leagues with fans because they used to do like a pros versus Joes thing. And this is back when like SleeperBot was like nobody knew who they were. So I know the guys over at SleeperBot really, really well. It's the best place to do fantasy football, no doubt about it. What up, Nando? 505 Raiders! All right, y'all. Jeremy Chugs and I are getting ready to wrap up today's live show. We appreciate every single one of y'all for tuning in. And I mean that. Every single one of y'all for tuning in.
Who are you picking first round? What pick do you have in this? It's a 14-team league, so the teams are going to get pretty scarce. You're going to be starting some second-string guys.
It's a quarterback, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers.
3 receivers.
Maybe 2 receivers.
2 receivers, tight end flex.
Tight end flex.
That's like the basic.
PPR.
Yep.
I'm pick 14.
You're the last pick?
I'm the last pick. Which actually I like. Because in a PPR league, I think it helps me out. And the Travis Kelce injury is going to make this whole situation
very interesting.
Because I'm telling you right now, if Kelce would have been available to me at 14 or 15, I would have taken him. I think he is the most valuable player in fantasy football right now because of the difference at his position.
I really wonder if
what?
I'm in a 10-team league. I picked 7 tonight.
Yep.
I don't know if he's there at 7 for me, do I take him in the first round?
Right now, not knowing the injury, I don't know if you can. Because if it's a bad hyper knee extension, it can take months.
If he's there in the second round, I feel like I got to take him, though.
Sure. Like, I know I'm not going to get Travis Kelce.
Yeah.
Because I'm not taking him at 14 or 15, not knowing the severity of that knee injury. It's tough. I mean, if I don't know it, I think it's kind of tough to figure out. If he's there coming back to me.
Eduardo said, how about one for the road?
Eduardo. Bro, I'm telling you right now, Eduardo, this is your show. If Eduardo sends in a 100, I'll chug a beer.
5 more minutes.
And we're going to add some more time to the clock.
Tony, let's go, Nation. Keep it together. Josh and Tay are primed to have a great year. Let's get Burns.
Bro, Brian Burns would be absolute fire.
Let's get burned.
I'm so ready to get Brian Burns, man. I am so ready. Raiders should have already had him to begin with. Raiders chose somebody else over Brian Burns, and to this day, it's still just.
Wow. Is it a Clemson football player?
Probably.
Here's our programming schedule, though, for the week. Obviously, live on Tuesdays. Starting this year, we're going live on Mondays as well. Thursday Night Footballs is back. We have a new game for you, so stay tuned.
Man.
Thursday nights, new game. It was Dice Game last year. Mitch is stepping it up.
We still might play a little dice game.
Hellcat is rock hard right now.
However, there is a good chance.
However, the weather?
There is a good chance that we have another game that we can play during halftime to put even more money in your pocket. It's like a 50-50 raffle, but on steroids.
Refined. I got you. Me and Mitch are going to talk after the live show. We're just talking right now, but Refined sent me 10 numbers that he's down to have. So one of them, I know at least 1 or 2 of them will be good. We got you. We're going to get your jersey, Refined Zeus. I know Eduardo had probably sent you something.
Yep. He also just sent me something else. So that's his final request. I feel like we got to do it.
All right. That's all he wants is that?
Huh?
He just wants the extra time.
Oh, he wants a beer.
A beer in time?
Yep.
Okay.
All right, guess what? Today's MVP, Eduardo, just bought y'all some more time live here on
what that means,
the Raiders Report.
Free Q&A. You don't have to super chat. Hashtag Raiders in the comment section.
Let's go.
And get your questions in.
Because this one's rolling in from Eduardo. I'm a man of my word. Every single one, hundo, I'm doing a beer bong. Use hashtag Raiders. Get those questions here on the show. Let's go.
Let's get wild. Let's get wild.
Let's put 15 minutes on the clock. 15 minutes on the clock. Eduardo Haro said, let's rock out with our clocks out today, and I'm totally down to get down. Eduardo, you a real one, my guy.
Let's get wild. Let's get wild.
These death rows, so good. They go down. Ooh, they go down. Eduardo's a real one.
Isaac.
Do the Raiders move back to Oakland, California in the next 50 years? I'm not going to sit here and act like I even know what's going to happen in the next 50 years. Next 50 years, I'm 80 years old. I don't know.
I remember when the Raiders were in Las Vegas.
Perune juice for 100. That's where I'm going to be at 80.
Perune.
Juice. A totally different kind of bang. Matto, what's Chandler's trade value? Right now, based off his contract, if the Raiders were to trade Chandler Jones, they save $10.6 million.
Martin said you'll be like wasted.
Chandler Jones trade coming up on the Raiders report.
I will say, though, trading for Chandler Jones right now for a team, I mean, his base salary is $1.2 million. So if a team trades for Chandler, they're only going to owe him. Now, I don't know exactly how the whole roster bonus situation ends up going down for Chandler. Doesn't cost a lot. And the fact that it's not going to cost a lot, if I'm the Raiders and this situation has gone sour, I'm trying to get anything I can for him. 5th round pick. It sucks, but I would take it. Let's go to Robert. What happens when you run out of jersey numbers, reverse colors to double up, but what after that?
With the jerseys, we're at 100.
All right, so what I'm going to do also, shout out to Mr. Dov just added me. That's funny as hell.
Dov added you?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, update, after his unusual post earlier today, appears Raiders defensive end Chandler Jones has unfollowed the team on Instagram as well via Mitchell Renz 365. Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. He's also...
Dov just added Mitch.
I know.
Hey, Mitch,
but no, what we're going to end up doing here is once all the jerseys... Once all the jerseys get filled out, 0 to 99, we're going to sign them, Jeremy Chuggs and I, and then we're going to send them back to y'all.
I'll give you $5 if you respond to that with, yo, can you please apologize for the Waddle pick?
No.
But who will double down with me?
He's not going to get it.
Who will double down with me? Mitch responds, yo, can you please apologize for the Jalen Waddle pick?
He's not going to get it. He's not going to get it.
Oh, my God.
I'll just respond, and he unfollowed Chandler, and he unfollowed Max Crosby. Yikes.
Another tweet right beneath it. Also per at Mitchell Renz.
Also, yeah, per me. It's the way it goes sometimes. Let's go to Tony. Is Patrick Graham on the hot seat if the defense starts slow?
Raiders! Loki, I read that as
yes,
Harrison.
It is. I mean, the Raiders defense is always on the hot seat every single week. When you're as bad defensively as what this unit is, you're on the hot seat every single week. And a lot of times when I think of hot seat, I think of what Raider fans talk about. If the Raiders defense is bad week 1, people are going to freak the hell out. If Jimmy Garoppolo is bad week 1, Raider fans are going to freak the hell out. If Josh Jacobs is bad week 1, people, all right. If Devontae's bad, all right, you're allowed a bad game. If Crosby's, there's certain things. Jimmy G's got to play great right away. The defense also has to play great right away. Let's go to 0.
Also, Tony, I don't know what you're doing, but if you super chat and then immediately retract your message.
Yeah, I can't see it.
Yeah.
Makes it tough. ever since he joined the Raiders, looked like he was never motivated to be with us. Taking is one thing, anything to talk about, but production-wise, said a lot. I like to believe that Chandler Jones, when he got that big-time deal, was motivated. And, Chandler knows Dave Ziegler and McDaniels since he was a kid, right? Like, knowing those guys since you're a kid, that can go a long way. And, again, it's about the relationship thing. That's where I said earlier, the Mike Evans trade, me sitting up here saying the Raiders could trade for Mike Evans, it sounds insane. But knowing this organization and knowing that relationships mean so much and that Tom Brady and Mike Evans are really close. If Brady goes up to McDaniels and Ziegler and goes, this is a guy you got to get. I mean, he's part owner, right? Like, I think that they might actually do it. I don't know. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. Let's go to basically Bigfoot. When you coming out to Vegas for a game? Jeremy, we actually just booked our flights. Shout out to the Blackout Division. We will be out in Vegas. I believe we're going to land in Vegas at like 8 p.m. on Friday. And then Jeremy and I have dinner. Immediately.
Wait, we're not going to get there till 8?
Yeah, the flights, price-wise, and again, I told them to, whatever makes the most sense. It was $150 more per ticket if we would have showed up any earlier, and even more than that. So I said, we'll fly in late Friday, all good, and then all day Saturday, we're going to be partying with the Blackout Division. So we're getting there late Friday, partying all day Saturday with the Blackout Division.
What time's our dinner?
Dinner's at 9, I believe, so it's going to be cutting it close. I mean, if I have to message them and just push it back, we can make it happen.
Maybe push it back 30 minutes so we can
and then
make it
our
stop.
flight home on Sunday doesn't take off until 6:25. We land in Dallas at 11:15.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be, really close. Really close. Southwest, though, so.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the good part.
Free pretzels.
That's the good part. We got Southwest. But bad news is it's going to be a whirlwind of a weekend. I know that. Let's go to Reggie. What up, Reggie? Why do we always have drama? I love football, but damn, man.
Is he giving a deuce or a forks up?
I don't know. I can't figure it out. What
No,
do you
it's
guys
a
think?
forks. Look at his shirt.
Oh, it is a Sun Devil.
Hey, Jack. Forks up, baby.
We got a forks up guy here, Reggie. I would say
Give him one of those, Jacks.
what's really frustrating about this entire Chandler Jones situation is the timing. We should only be worried, and I've said it 100 times today, we should only be worried about the Raiders' upcoming game against the Broncos, and instead, we're dealing with this bullshit. It's super frustrating. I love the Raiders. I love football. I love this team. But the reason why I am a Raider fan, it's not because of players, because actions like this piss me off. They do. They piss me off. I'm a Raider fan because of the nation. And the fact that y'all are tuning in, watching the show right now, it's because people want to know what the hell is going on. And I get that. Hell, I want to know what the hell is going on, man. It's frustrating as all hell. There's no doubt about it. It is frustrating on every single part.
Oh, it's just.
Marshall just keeps posting this thing of him punching me in the face on Twitter. I don't get it.
Marsh,
I know.
care to explain yourself?
You keep punching me in the face on Twitter.
I did. You didn't retweet it the first time.
I know. There's a reason.
I got that memory on Facebook. It was like 2 years ago today.
I'll just quote tweet it and say, please report this guy.
Yes. I remember it was one of my Facebook memories when I first started. It was like 2 years ago today.
today. That's a long time
There's
ago.
a video where I did it the first time and I didn't do it hard enough. And Mitch was like, give me some more.
Give me some mo. Give me some mo.
That
Give me some
scene
more.
in Remember the Titans? We want some more. We want some more. Left side. Strong side.
Let's go to Jordan Castile. Why are we dealing with this? I think there is something big going on with him. There's got to be something bigger. Like, I'm a big, where there's smoke, there's fire guy.
Ryan Burns or Mike Evans, you are a Raider.
You got Chandler Jones drama, and now the Raiders restructure Jimmy Garoppolo's contract to free up $17 million.
Just now.
That's That's a lot of smoke where there's fire.
Mike Evans, Giants trade, Mike Evans trade, or something like that. Check it out.
I already did the Mike Evans thing.
After Daniel Jones' contract extension.
Yep.
That's going in the title.
Yeah.
That's the title.
It's
Let's go with it.
Raiders trading for Brian Burns after Jimmy Garoppolo.
How much time we got?
Alrighty, boys. I'll see you manana.
Later.
Don't use all those.
730 people
Did you
watching.
find it?
End of the live show is in 4 minutes. Shout out to Eduardo Haro for being an absolute legend today. How do we not have 1,000 likes? I don't know, X. I see XX Elixir,
Thomas.
Las Vegas with more drama than Oakland. You're not wrong. I see Joseph saying, what the F happened with Jones? I'm late. So essentially what happened was Chandler Jones tried to show up to work out this morning, couldn't get into the building, tried to contact McDaniels and Ziegler. They didn't answer the phone. So then the Raiders have tried to contact Chandler Jones. Jones went on a tirade on social media. Jones has since unfollowed the Raiders and has unfollowed Max Crosby and a bunch of other the Raiders players, and here we are now. It's a shit show of a situation.
It's a show of shit.
If you wanted to see a show of shit, that's where we are. Also, we are 100 away from a beer bong.
I haven't seen this in a minute.
Obi-Kwan Kenobi.
Obi-Kwan Kenobi.
Obi-Kwan Kenobi.
Real one. Haven't seen you in a minute. What's been up, G?
Would Raiders, he better with PG taking over for head coach? Seemed like Josh not a leader, a man, and losing control of the team. I don't think that he's losing control of the team at all. I mean, in fact, every other single Raiders player that I've talked to says McDaniels and Ziegler have more control of this team than they've ever had before. And one of the Raiders captains, I'm telling you right now, said, who's been a part of this team for multiple years, said, right now, the Raiders locker room is closer than it's ever been, and that's going back to when they had Bisaccia.
Besides Chandler Jones.
Again, I don't know what the whole situation here with Chandler, but you got to give the Raiders a shot this season, and that's what's going to happen. Like, you got to give them a shot. Let's go to Raider B-Dog. Does Jones know that people have other lives away from football? Sure, but his life is football, right? Like, my life here is YouTube content, right? All I care about is getting you guys as much content as humanly possible. Like, that's what I'm going to try to do.
I do have to say, Raider B-Dog, he's got some riz in that photo.
Oh, dude, he's risen hard.
Both hands in the pockets.
I hope that they're in his pockets, or else we got to start a new show. Let's go to a super chat.
Cap.
Rolling in from Chance-tastic.
No cap, Raider B-Dog, he's got some riz.
I know it's a stretch. Was just discussing with my buddy maybe a trade deal with Chandler and Jacobs for Aaron Donald. Like, this might be a crazy thing to say. Chandler Jones and Josh Jacobs for Aaron Donald. I don't think it's enough. I'm serious.
Just because it's like
I don't think it's enough.
Well, only because you're thinking of like, oh, like Chandler Jones and Josh Jacobs, their talent level would equate somewhat. You're doing the teetering. Oh, their talent level / contracts could equal Aaron Donald. But you got to think where the Rams are at. If they're making a move, if they're trading away Aaron Donald,
They're not trying to get those two players.
they're not going for old veteran guys. They want either very young, good talent or draft picks.
Correct.
If they're trading away Aaron Donald, that's what they want. They don't want older guys who are equal talent level, whatever.
Yep.
They want to rebuild.
David Mitch, when you have kids, are you going to bring them on the show? Well, I'll tell you this right now. I am guaranteed not to have kids for the next 5 years. After that, we'll see. I've had Chuck on the show before, and Chuck was on the show 3 times over the weekend because I was making at-home vids.
Oh, yeah?
Wasn't a happy camper, though.
Really? Why not?
Well, he was upset because we couldn't go out and play, but I also had my leg tattoo, and it is what it is, right? David, wait, what? I know. Crazy thing, man.
What?
IUD. It works.
What?
All right, y'all, we're getting ready to end today's live show. I appreciate every single one of y'all that tuned in, but there are 2 people that deserve more love than everybody else. Shout out to Refine Zeus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Danny and Alex.
Shout out to Refine Zeus. Also, probably shout out to Danny and Alex. They put up a lot of shenanigans.
Remember we thought that store was Danny and Alex at the...
Yes. Where was that?
That was at the airport.
Oh, yeah, it was. I was like, what was it? I forget what it was.
It was like,
And Alex.
yeah.
It was something like that. It was close. Annie and Alex or something like that. It was, yeah. I know. You guys have no idea what we're talking about. So here's what's going to end up going down. The next time you're going to see me live here on the show is going to be Thursday, Chiefs, Lions. I'm going to be with Rolly. No Jeremy. He's got a wedding to go to. I know. But you know what? In a few weeks, Jeremy and probably Rolly are going to be doing a live Raiders show without me.
A Thursday night show.
Because I have a wedding. So
Yeah. What
I'm in a
week
wedding.
will that be?
Final Thursday in September.
Final. Okay, let's see what game we're getting.
The final Thursday in September.
So the 28th. What game are we bringing to you?
I have no idea.
Hold on, let me.
Jeremy's going to look it up the game. So remember, y'all, we're going to be live on Thursday. We're also going to be live on Sunday. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you got those notifications turned on because we're giving you guys a lot of content this year. We're going to be live 4 days a week on the Raiders Report during the regular season.
Oh.
4 days a week
Funny
live.
enough,
Yeah?
another Lions game.
Really?
Yep. Lions they're loving Lions on Thursday night football.
That's
I guess.
weird. 2 Thursday night football against the
In the
Lions.
same month.
Lions against who?
Lions Packers.
Ooh, let's go. Get Versace up on screen. All right, y'all. Seriously though, Eduardo Haro, you're a freaking legend, man.
Jordan-
I can't tell you how much I appreciate the show.
Last Dance meme, the
Also, 2 people got jerseys today. Eduardo Haro, Redefined Zeus. We're gonna have a lot of special games for Thursday. Football is so effing back.
I
can't wait.
I don't care what Petey says. Football's back.
Football is so back. On behalf of me, Jeremy Chuggs, if any breaking news happens around Chandler Jones, if the Raiders decide to use the money that they just restructured with Jimmy Garoppolo and invest that into a free agent, a big-time trade, we're going to be live here on the Raiders Report. I don't want you to miss it. Hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications. I love y'all to the end of the world and back. So from me, from Jeremy Chuggs, you guys have yourself one hell of a Tuesday.